As the season draws closer to the stretch run, each new series weighs heavier on the standings. Your Rangers welcome the Houston Astros to the ballpark, and while they've had tremendous success against their Texas rival, there is no guarantee of an easy few days. The intense Matt Garza will not be complacent when he takes the mound, as another chapter in the Lone Star Series begins next. Rangers ballpark in Arlington. Yes, indeed. Enjoy the game. The Rangers getting set to start a series against their in-state rivals, the Houston Astros. And welcome in, folks, to game number 125 of the Ranger baseball season. With Tom Grieve, I'm Steve Busby. Glad you could join us on this Monday night. And it's a great evening weather-wise here at the ballpark. And the Rangers certainly hope it's a great evening as far as baseball is concerned. Tough 2 out of 3 loss to the Mariners over the weekend. A guy that really is ready and has had success against the Astros this year. The Rangers are banking on Adrian Beltre to carry him again.
They're banking on Adrian Beltre in just about every facet of the game.
Yep.
To be a leader on the field, to be a leader in the clubhouse, to get big hits in the middle of the lineup, to make plays at third base, and it just so happens he's been very good against the Houston Astros this year. The Rangers have played the Astros 13 times, and in those 13 games, he's hit close to 400. He has hit over 400 when it counts. With men in scoring position, he's hit the ball out of the ballpark, and he's driven in big runs. Pretty much what he does for the team on a daily basis.
Yeah, since the 1st of May, probably, you could say, it has been Adrian Beltre, and Adrian Beltre by himself at times. Well, the Rangers will try to recapture the magic they had when they visited Houston last week. Matt Garza, in his 6th start in a Ranger uniform, takes on the Astros lineup, and the first pitch right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Don't miss the Ford Summer Spectacular featuring blockbuster deals. Now playing at your best in Texas Ford dealer. And by AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. By Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. And by a reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designate a driver. Rangers and Astros getting set to open up a 3-game series. That's a good-looking chili dog right there, and that young man is munching it down pretty effectively. I like that. Boy, that's making me hungry. Before, let's head down to the field where Dana Larson's standing by. Dana, I'm going to go out and get a dog. Go ahead.
All right, I'll take it from here for just a moment. Buzz, as you know, chemistry has been such a big part of the Rangers' recent success. Matt Garza has fit right into the team this season, according to his new good buddy, Derek Holland, who also said there's a side to Garza that may surprise you.
Have grown pretty well together since he's been here, just adapting with each other. And it's kind of like we kind of have the same personality. I'd say maybe I'm a little bit more the goofier side than him, but he's very outspoken. He's loud, but he's an awesome teammate. He's very competitive, and he wants to win.
Derek Holland, our Geico quote of the game. So as goofy as Derek Holland off the field, but as we know, incredibly intense, ultra competitive on the field. Buzz and Tom, they love his energy, and they love the fact that they've won 4 of his 5 starts since joining this team, and hope that trend continues tonight, guys.
No, that they do, Dana. I think we better get a second opinion on the goofy part, considering it was Derek Holland making that assessment. I'll trust him, but I'd kind of like to have a corroboration of that by someone else.
By someone that's not goofy?
Preferably, yeah. Well, Matt Garza, there's no doubting the talent that he takes out there every time that he goes to the mound. And if you want a guy that'll compete for you, you've got your man in Matt Garza. So Garza and his teammates taking the field here before game 1 of this 3-game series. Houston Astros have been a very good ball club of late. They have won the last 2 series that they have played. They won 2 out of 3 against Oakland. They won 2 out of 3 against the Angels. And they come in here, the final stop on this 3-city swing of their road trip. They are looking to make it a clean sweep, and the Rangers looking to avert that. Astros lineup tonight, Robbie Grossman leads off. He's the center fielder. Fred Wallace is at first. Jose Altuve bats third and plays second. The DH is Jason Castro. Batting fifth, playing left field, Chris Carter. Matt Dominguez is at third base. Carlos Corporan will catch and bat seventh. L.J. Hose is in right field. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Jonathan Villar.
Well, check out our progressive scouting report for Matt Garza. He's had 16 starts this year with the Rangers and the Cubs. Nice record. He's 8-2. 2-1 with a .386 ERA in his 5 starts with the Rangers. He has 1 complete game. He's been a little bit homer prone. He's given up 6 in his last 27 2/3 innings. In his last 3, and in fact his 3 August starts, he's given up 4 runs in each one of those starts and 5 home runs in those 3 starts. So tonight, I'm sure one thing he'll try to do is keep the ball away from the middle of the plate, keep the ball in the ballpark, and everything should be fine.
You know, Ron Washington and Jackie Moore still trying to figure out what went wrong over the weekend. They've put it behind them, but that's a disconcerting effort that the Rangers put forth, especially yesterday. Just their game did not ever come together in Sunday's loss in that rubber game against Seattle. Well, the Ranger defense tonight behind Matt Garza did something like this. David Murphy in left, Leonis Martin in center, Alex Rios is in right. It's Marlin at first, Jurickson Profar the start at second, Elvis Andrews at short, Adrian Beltre at third, and A.J. Przinsky is catching Matt Garza tonight. Now the Rangers come in with a half-game lead in the AL West. Rangers at 71-53, and they have 3 different times now gotten to that 19-game over 500 mark and have failed to get to 20 over. So the Rangers hope that they can win this series and get the 20 games over 500 that they've been working toward. Rangers at home 35-27. And of course against the Astros, we talked about the success they've had. 11-2 against the rivals from South Texas, and 2-1 in this ballpark this year are the Rangers. Robbie Grossman steps in, a .262 hitter. 3 home runs, 14 driven in. Switch hitter up there from the left side, and Garza goes to work. And strike 1 is dealt. Gary Cederstrom calling the balls and strikes tonight. He's the crew chief. Kerwin Danley at first, Lance Barksdale at second. Vic Carapazza is down at third. A 92-degree evening, very little breeze, a gentle zephyr coming in from left, maybe left center field. Next pitch foul back. Wind kind of negligible at this hour, and very comfortable evening again for mid to late August here in North Texas. 0-2 pitch from Garza. Big breaking ball, call strike 3.
Well, that one just bended right into the top of the strike zone on the outside part of the plate. I'm sure to Robbie Grossman that looked like it was going to be high and outside, but it looked like it might have broke sharply enough to come right down in the top of the strike zone.
And you see when A.J. Przinsky did a great job of catching that pitch too. He didn't reach out to catch it. He let it come all the way back so that the breaking ball would be as low in its arc as it possibly would be. Caught it right against his chest. And that gives the umpire the idea that, well, he caught it there. It must be a pretty good pitch. You reach out and catch it, you have to catch it higher. And it looks to the umpire like that ball never got to the top of the strike zone.
Yep. He did do a great job. The ball was, I guess, technically an inch outside. And maybe that's exactly what it took to get the call.
Red Wallace takes a couple of pitches that are out of the zone. It's 2-0. Wallace, a .221. He has been on a pretty good extra base hit rampage in 19 of his last 39 hits. And there's a strike from Garza to make it a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Astros at 41-82. They are still supporting the rest of the Western Division in 5th place, 29.5 games behind the Rangers. Garza's 2-1 offering. And the count evens. Rangers in sweeping 4 a week ago from the Astros. Really did the bullpen in for Houston. Rangers came back a couple of times in that series, and it was the bullpen that couldn't hold late leads or keep the game close late in the game. Now the 2-2. Call strike 3 inside corner. And Garza has back-to-back strikeouts to start things tonight.
Looked like he took something off that. Maybe a changeup that came back toward the inside corner. Grossman probably thought his pitch was outside. Couldn't tell with that. What was that, Buzz? A cut fastball, or?
You know, it looked like the way it came out of his hand, it was a changeup.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Didn't have as much spin on it as the fastball or the breaking ball.
I know one thing, it was strike 3.
Yeah, it was.
That's all that counts.
Gary Cederstrom rung it up, so that was what was important there. Jose Altuve, a 1-ball, no strike count. Altuve, 277 with the average. He has the most at bats of any Astro hitter in the lineup against Matt Garza. Pitch low and away, and it's 2-0. Altuve, uncharacteristically in a little bit of a downturn, 2 for his last 16 times to the plate. You know, over the last couple of years, it seems like every time the Rangers have seen Altuve, he has been swinging the bat well. And this one, a few times that I can remember, that's not the case. With his swing, I'm surprised if he ever goes into a prolonged slump.
Yeah, when you see him when he's swinging it well, boy, it sure looks that way. I guess no matter who you are, you can go into a little bit of a downturn.
Garza into the wind for the 2-1 pitch. Down the right field line, and that's going to slice back into the seats and out of play. Alex Rios over to take a look, but that's well back amongst the crowd. Well, the count evens at 2-2. And now she gives him the glove. I could have used that a minute ago. Garza's next pitch to Altuve. Foul ball out to second. Profar to his left. On to first, and that'll do it. A couple of strikeouts and a ground out. Astros gone in order after a half inning here in Arlington. Astros nothing. The Rangers coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. Come to bat tonight, their starting lineup delivered by Fred Loya Insurance. Leonis Martin back in the leadoff spot. He's playing center field. Elvis Andrus is next. Then it's the DH, Ian Kinsler. Adrian Beltre bats cleanup. A.J. Brzezinski is catching and hitting fifth. Alex Rios isn't right. Mitch Moreland at first. Jurickson Profar the start at second. And batting ninth, the left fielder, David Murphy.
And on the mound for the Astros, Lucas Harrell. He's 6-13. His ERA is over 5. He's been in the bullpen recently. He's had 4 relief appearances leading up to this start. 9 appearances since July. Only, in fact, one of them has been a start. He has been a little bit wild. 71 walks. That's leading the league. 71 walks in only 129 innings.
You know, Harrell, very much a ground ball pitcher. Almost a 2-to-1 ground ball to fly ball ratio. 1.88 to be exact. But, he really likes to keep that ball down around the knees and gets some good sinking action. There's that sinker that moves outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Leonis Martin. 274 the average for the Rangers center fielder. Chopper off the plate. That's going to be a tough play for Altuve. Gloves, throws, can't get him. And it gets by Wallace over there, but a bounce. Fortuitous bounce for the Astros, right back to Wallace off the brick facing. But aboard via the hit is Leonis Martin.
Yeah, once that ball hit, it was going to be a very difficult play for Altuve. Obviously, if he could have caught it in the air, it would have been different. But he does a great job of getting rid of it. Unfortunately, it was a very difficult play for Wallace to catch. He was so close to him, and it was a little bit off target. Well, it's base hit all the way. Not much he could do about it.
So Martin, who, if you remember in the series down in Houston, had just come off that series in Anaheim where he ran crazy. 6 stolen bases in that series. And then all of a sudden he was shot down a couple of times by the combination of Carlos Corporan, who's catching tonight, and Jason Castro. And since then, Leonis hasn't tried to steal too much. Kind of shut him down a little bit.
Those guys made great throws.
1 ball, no strikes to count to Elvis Andrus. Elvis, a .254 hitter. And he takes strike 1. Taken all the way to give Martin an opportunity, if he so desired, to take off for second. Hit his first home run of the year and first home run in better than 550 at-bats down in Houston. There goes Martin. The pitch is hit through the right side. A base hit. Leonis around second. He will motor into third. Second straight day that Elvis Andrus has executed a hit and run to perfection.
Yeah, when you keep doing that, I think Wash is going to keep making that call. It's a thing of beauty when you see it executed right. Second baseman goes to cover. The batter hits a ground ball through the area he vacated. And because the runner is on the move, he easily goes to third base. Now, it's a pretty play when it's done like that. Elvis is very good at that.
Well, that's taking a strong suit of the pitcher, and that would be Harold being a ground ball pitcher,
yeah,
and turning it against him.
Pretty much what you want is a ground ball right there.
Exactly. So runners at the corners, nobody out. Here is Ian Kinsler, who is handling the DH chores tonight. The first pitch to him is outside for ball 1. Ian at 266. See, he has not had a whole lot of luck against Lucas Harold, just 2 for 11. Got Martin at third, Andrus at first. Nobody out here in the Ranger first, and Harold will drive Andrus back with a toss. Kinsler has enjoyed his time hitting against the Astros pitching, no matter who it was. .318 with 10 home runs in 50 ball games. Harold sets a check of first. And Kinsler fouls it away to the right. He had a pitch that stayed up a little bit for him, but he couldn't get on top of it. 1-1 the count.
Harold began the year as the #2 starter for the Astros. You go back a few appearances to his last start. He walked 5 in 5 innings against Baltimore, then went into the bullpen. He's getting the start today because Jordan Lyles had to pitch in relief in the game yesterday.
There goes Andrus. The pitch is a strike. The throw is late. Gets away momentarily from Altuve, but Elvis Andrus with the stolen base. And he got a great jump that time. There was nothing Corporant could do.
Well, he made another strong throw, too. I think every throw we've seen Castro or Corporant make has been thrown with great velocity after having gotten rid of it quickly, and it's landed right on top of the bag. You can't throw any better than these guys are throwing right now. So it did take a good jump to beat that throw to second base.
Yep. Yeah, if Harold had given him any kind of a chance, he would have been out.
Yeah.
A great job by Corporant to make it that close. But Elvis, as you saw, with his 32nd stolen base, that's good for third in the American League now. And now the Rangers have runners at second and third and nobody out. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. The Astros will play the infield back. They will concede with nobody out. The run 4 and out if they can get it. Little bit low. Kinsler thought about it, checked his swing, and it's 2-2. Ian talking to himself a little bit. Just hope he gave himself the right answer. Martin down the line for third. Elvis establishing his lead out there at second base as Harold looks through a series of signs. Now the right-hander's ready. Way outside. It's 3-2. So it doesn't get any easier for Harold after Ian. It'll be the Ranger cleanup man, Adrian Beltre, who has treated the Astro pitching staff rather rudely this year and throughout his career. The 3-2 pitch. Pulled just foul.
I'd say that was pulled.
The American League stolen base leaders, 3 of the top 5 are in this game here tonight. And Elvis has already put his stamp on there. You see Jose Altuve at 30 stolen bases. Alex Rios with 28. And don't forget one more down the list, and that would be Leonis Martin for the Rangers. So there's some guys that
Martin is just a stolen base below that group.
Pick him up and lay him down. Another 3-2 pitch to center field. Ball's hit pretty well. Going back, reaching up is Grossman to haul it in. Tagging at third and scoring. Leonis Martin on to third is Elvis Andrews. And Ian Kinsler, a sacrifice line drive bolt, makes it 1-0 Texas.
That was a line drive. It hit so hard, Grossman had to make a spectacular play to catch that ball. Difficult play for a center fielder is that line shot hit directly over your head. Grossman did a nice job recovering and catching that ball as it looked like it was going right over his head to the wall.
And they're going to appeal the second, and the appeal is received and turned down by the second base umpire, Lance Barksdale. And now Bo Porter going to go out and check with the second base umpire. He thought apparently that Elvis had left the bag too soon. Judge for yourself. I think that little hesitation that Elvis had when he left the bag kind of raised the ire of Bo Porter.
Yeah, I don't think he left too soon, and he definitely wouldn't have left too soon on that play because he could have walked to third base. Grossman kind of stopped to look at the ball because it's very difficult to judge whether it's right at you, in front of you, or over your head, and made the decision to go after it just in time to recover and make a really nice play.
The 1 out. Here's Beltre. Adrian at 326, and that's as high as his average has been all year. And he takes high and away for ball 1. Beltre, pretty good success, I would say, against Lucas Harrell. 6 for 13 with a home run. He'll take those numbers day in and day out. Inside, almost got him. And the count goes to 2-0. Beltre also has 6 RBI against the 28-year-old right-hander Lucas Harrell. Batting average in the American League, you see Miguel Cabrera way out in front, but pretty good tussle for the number 2 slot. Mike Trout at 333 and Ortiz, Big Papi at 327, just 1 point ahead of Adrian Beltre, and Joe Mauer not far out of the lead, or the second place race. 2-0 pitch. And that is outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, I don't think he has any
AT&T U-Burst rewind. Off of Lucas Harrell right here in July. Off the foul pole. That was the home run we were talking about that Adrian Beltre had back here in July, and now he gets the intentional walk to put runners at first and third for A.J. Brzezinski. I'm sorry, John, you saying?
No, I was just saying I don't think he had any intention of throwing him a strike. The last ball 4 was an intentional ball 4, but the 3 before it might as well have been. First place open, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pitch to Adrian.
Well, the Rangers with 2 hits and a walk, a run across. First and third are the runners. A.J. Brzezinski steps in hitting at .277. 13 home runs, 48 runs driven in for the Ranger catcher. Harrell, a long look in. Now the right-hander's ready. And Brzezinski fouled off the first pitch. Right into Chuck Morgan's booth down there. The great Chuck Morgan, the PA announcer and also the voice of Rangers ballpark in Arlington, saying, hey, here we go. That's one of those catch and release deals that Chuck talks about. Made that young lady very happy. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, Wendy's like to show you a now that's better part. Last 8 ball games, A.J. Brzezinski, 318 with 5 RBI. And previous 12 games, 217. And that is much better, as Wendy's would say. 7 RBI in the previous 12 games. Hitless in half those games, too. But, yeah, that is better for A.J. of late. Down in the count here, however, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Andrews at third, Beltre at first, 1 out in the Ranger first. Inside, that evens the count at 2-2. Middle of the Astro defense playing back at double play depth. They're looking for a way to get out of this without any further damage here in the first inning. Inside, 3-2 now. Well, Harrell showing you a little bit of rust, I would think, being out there and being in a spot for the first time in a while. In a spot, I mean by in trouble. Doug Brocail, the Astros pitching coach, who has drawn rave reviews for his work with these young Astro pitchers. Harrell ready. Beltre on the move. A line drive is foul off the bat of Pierzynski. And Adrian will retrace his steps, and we'll try the 3-2 pitch all over again.
When you look at Harrell's record, he's 6-13 with a 5.16 ERA. You wouldn't expect this next note on him, but he's had 10 starts this year where he's given up 1 earned run or less. So in a little bit short of half of his starts, in fact exactly half of his starts, he's been very tough to beat. And the other half, he's given up 7 runs and 8 runs 2 times each.
Swing and a miss. The throw going to second base. Everybody's safe as Andrews comes down the line to score. Beltre avoided the tag by VR at second. And the Rangers lead 2-0 on some daring base running here in the first inning.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if VR caught that ball and threw it home that he could have gotten Elvis anyway. Elvis got a great jump at third base. And that's some nice base running by Adrian. He's running on the play. Watch Elvis at third. He takes off with a little bit of a head start. Adrian stops. And by the time VR realizes he doesn't have a play at the plate, Adrian just kind of sneaks right by him. So that's a nice way to steal a run after AJ struck out.
So the double steal, 3 stolen bases in the inning. Elvis has 2 of them. Beltre in scoring position now for Alex Rios, who takes a strike from Harrell.
Yeah, that turns out to be better than a sacrifice fly.
Yeah.
Because Adrian probably would have stayed at first base unless it was near the warning track somewhere.
Rios at 276, had an 0 for yesterday, just his second in a Ranger uniform, and he wraps that pitch foul down the third base side. 0-2 the count. Elvis showing Giovanni Soto exactly how he did it from second base on that sacrifice fly. Giovanni probably getting on him about, you left too soon, didn't you?
Well, if the catcher had faked a throw to second base,
he
would have been out.
Yeah.
Well, he would have had to keep on going and getting in a rundown because he took a couple little shuffle steps before Corporon threw it to second. He anticipated the throw. You know, if Martin was on first base, he probably wouldn't have thrown through.
Right.
They thought they had a shot at Beltre, but Adrian stopped exactly like he should have done.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Rios. Yeah, if Corporon had faked the throw, he could have just waited there for Elvis to come to him.
Watch a couple of steps now. Right now, if he faked it, if he faked it and threw to third, Elvis might have come home and scored anyway.
Might have.
He would have had to fake it and then run him back toward third.
Well, Harrell now has run the count full after jumping out in front of the count to Alex Rios. 3-2 with 2 outs. Beltre at second, a couple of runs across here in the Ranger first. Harrell ready. The payoff pitch coming. Chopper to third. Dominguez checks the seams and throws out Alex Rios. Side retire the Rangers, however, put 2 on the board. 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 left. We finished 1 in Arlington. Rangers 2, Astros nothing. Fox Sports Southwest.
Okay, Buzz. Sorry about that. This little girl has a question. What was that?
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy over here. Okay, we need cotton candy over there. Okay, thank you. Community Corner this evening. We're talking about the Ranger Wives gift basket auction. Takes place tomorrow night right here at the ballpark, 4:30 to 7:30. Home plate entrance. That's where you got to be, 4:30 to 7:30. A lot of great gift baskets. All the Ranger players are taking part in this, as well as Nolan Ryan and Pudge Rodriguez. Tomorrow night, 4:30, 7:30. Proceeds go to the tornado victims of Oklahoma and North Texas. Cotton candy for this little one right here, okay? There we go. Buzz.
Knox, you got to get her some cotton candy.
I got
that
it.
young
Where
lady.
is the cotton candy guy when you need him, huh?
Yeah, she thinks you're a waiter over there. Come on.
It's coming. I promise.
You got her hopes up right now. Where is? I'm tired of waiting.
A snow cone, too? Oh, boy.
Jason Castro leading things off, fouls the next pitch away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
She's negotiating what she'll take to talk to Jim. Without the cotton candy or the snow cone, I'm not going to have a whole lot to say.
That's right. I'll open up for some cotton candy, but that's it. I'm not going any lower than that. Jason Castro, a .267 hitter with 14 home runs, and he has driven in 46. Gets this one well to right center field. Leonis Martin on his horse in the alley. It is off the wall. Into second base with a slide is Castro. A leadoff double that almost got out of here. Well, the first hit of the night. Jason Castro gave it a ride to right center. And he is in scoring position with nobody out for Chris Carter.
Castro's having a nice season. Looks like a changeup that he reached for. A changeup right down the middle of the plate. He needs to get that down and keep it away from him a little bit more. Looked like he committed to swing, but even though he was out in front of it, when it was up and in the middle of the plate like that, he was still able to get the good part of the bat on it, even though he really didn't take his best swing.
Well, here's Carter, who is getting a start in left field tonight. You saw him mainly as the DH. He hammers one to left field. Sinking line drive that's off the wall. Castro around third will score easily, and breezing into second with an RBI double is Chris Carter. And the Ranger lead is cut in half. It's now 2-1. Now this Astro team on this road trip, and this is the 7th game for them, been swinging the bat well. They're hitting nearly 300 as a club.
Well, you just have to make some good pitches. That ball ran in on the inside half of the plate, kind of right in his wheelhouse, trying to throw it down and away. Just didn't get there.
Now Matt Dominguez, the third baseman, steps in. And a good slider catches the outside corner. Dominguez at .237, but he has 16 home runs, and he is second on the team with 60 RBI. The team leader, Chris Carter, now with 63 after that RBI double. Chopper slowly hit to short. Andrews charges on the run, throws him out.
Well, much better to Dominguez. That made a couple of good pitches with his slider, did keep it down and away, and got the little tapper to shortstop. Carter had to stay at second.
There we go. Jim Knox coming through. Matter of fact, he got our whole poll's worth out there. A friend for life now. Now, one away, Carter's still at second base. Carlos Corporan, the switch hitting catcher, steps into the batter's box. Well, she's got some curls on there, doesn't she?
Sure does.
Check swing, and he could not stop it in time. That is strike one. Corporan, a .247 hitter, 7 home runs, and 17 RBI. 49 games. He is the backup catcher, really, to Jason Castro. Castro getting most of the duty behind the plate. Corporan, a very capable number 2 catcher. The 0-1. And it's 0-2. Corporan on this road trip for the Astros, a .250 hitter. He's gone 2 for 8 with an RBI. Laid off the breaking ball. It's 1-2. Talking about the Astros on the trip against Oakland and the Angels. .295 the team average. Significantly better than what the Astros were able to do at home against the Rangers or against the clubs that had come in. That pitch way in front of home plate in the dirt. And a nice stop by Pierzynski. And the count goes to 2-2, and all of a sudden Matt Garza, who had a very easy 1-2-3 first inning with a couple of strikeouts, has run into a problem here in the second after being given a 2-0 lead. Two balls, two strikes, the count. Chris Carter at the bottom of your screen, establishing his lead from second. Just off the outside corner. It's a full count. Now to Corporan. Corporan, the number 7 hitter, trying to get aboard in front of L.J. HOU, who is the number 8 hitter, the right fielder for the Astros. Carter ready, a check of second. Payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Good sharp slider down and in. That is Garza's third strikeout of the night. 2 outs, and HOU's coming to the plate.
After he made a couple of pitches he didn't want to make to Castro and Carter, he's come back and hasn't thrown anything near the center of the plate to Dominguez and Corporan. Corporan was patient for 3 strikes for 3 of the balls, but then on strike 3 he just couldn't lay off of that hard slider down and in.
You saw the reaction Corporan had at himself. I don't think he was saying nice job to himself either.
I don't either. He's had a little bit of a problem in the strikeout. He's been up 150 times, struck out 50, only walked 8.
That'll leave you talking to yourself.
Yeah, he's probably had that conversation before.
0-1 the count to HOU. HOU's doing a good job since being acquired from the Mets and spending a little time at AAA. Gets fisted, hits a little roller down to first. A jam job, and Mitch Moreland steps in the bag. Well, that'll do it. A couple of doubles to start the inning off, a run across, and that's it as Garza gets the next 3 guys. 1.5 in the books. Rangers 2, Astros 1. We'd like to get your opinion on who will be the Rangers Fantasy Football League champion. And if you think it might be Derek Holland, we just gave you an example. Go to Twitter and tweet #FS Holland. And if you think it might be someone else, #FS that player's last name. And we'll tabulate the results, see who comes out on top. Tom, do you have any favorites in that game?
I'm not sure who the favorites are now. Michael Young was a big fantasy player. I probably would have picked him.
Scott Feldman was last year's winner.
Was he?
Yeah, he's in Chicago. Unless somebody,
he might still be able to stay in. I'm not sure what their rules are.
Either that or come on as a guest general manager for somebody's team.
I remember, was it last year or the year before when they had the draft on the team plane?
Yeah.
Who was that?
The year before.
They made sing the national anthem. What the heck was that? I can't even think.
Moreland taps one to third, and even though there was an overshift, Dominguez close enough to make that play. Moreland's retired and went away. Eric's a profile. Mark Hamburger,
yeah. They made Mark Hamburger, was a rookie. They made him sing the national anthem. They thought he would be embarrassed and kind of make a fool out of himself. He got up and sang a rendition of the national anthem that could have been sung at any ballpark in America. Turned out he was in the choir growing up and had a great voice. Didn't bother him at all.
After about the first stanza, he had everybody standing up.
That was great.
Hands over their heart, the whole deal.
Yeah, to embarrass Mark, you were going to have to think of something other than singing.
Jurickson Profar up there, 1-0 the count, and he skies the next one to shallow left field. Angling out, Jonathan Villar, the shortstop, makes the catch. And there are quickly 2 outs here in the Rangers' second inning. And David Murphy coming up. So Harold had a long first inning, a 30-pitch first inning. Has gotten the first 2 outs here in the second on just 6 pitches. And he will face David Murphy, who has been a nemesis for Harold. 2 home runs against the right-hander and 3 for 11 overall. Off-speed pitch stays outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, we've gotten down to 38 games left in the season, and Murph in unfamiliar territory. That batting average still down in the mid-220s, 224 coming in.
David's had 3 or 4 times where it looked like he was getting hot, but he just wasn't able to sustain it for more than 20 or 25 at bats. But if it's been there for 4 or 5 years, it's in there somewhere.
Yep.
Just a matter of bringing it out. It'd be a perfect time to do it with 30+ games left in the season.
Well, I would imagine that's probably the only thing keeping David Murphy sane right about now, is he does have that track record and he knows he can do it.
Yeah, it'd be different if you're a rookie and you've never done it before. But David's got a pretty nice track record.
2-2 pitch. Got a pitch to work with and fouled it back. He kind of gritting his teeth and saying, doggone it. I'd like to have that one over again. Murph with 12 home runs, 39 driven in. Again, the 2-2. Call strike 3. Harrell got the bottom of the strike zone with the off-speed pitch. And he sends the Rangers down in order. He's now retired 5 straight. We're going to the third. It's the Rangers 2, the Astros 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. For live baseball everywhere you go. It's available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Rangers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and a lot more. Just text at bat to 31826, or you can visit TexasRangers.com for details. Well, Matt Garza back to the hill, a 2-1 Ranger lead now. Jonathan Villar, the switch hitting shortstop, leading things off. Number 9 man in Bo Porter's lineup tonight. He takes a good fastball from Garza on the outside corner, strike 1.
Well, 2 of the few mistakes that Matt has made, Castro and Carter doubled. Before that and after that, they haven't had a whole lot of good pitches to hit. There's a 94 and a 95 mile an hour fastball tailing away from the left-hand hitter right on the outside corner. So he's sharpened it up since those 2 doubles.
You can make a pretty good living if you're able to pinpoint those out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anybody. 0-2 pitch. Tried it again and didn't miss by too much. It's 1-2. Villar, a modest 4-game hitting streak. He's gone 6 for 15 and raised his average up to 257 overall. This is after spending some time on the bench with some injury problems. He had a sprained thumb that caused him to miss the first 2 games of the series against the Rangers down at Minute Maid, and only pinch ran in the 3rd one. Starting off the Astro third here. He's got a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Garza to the wind. And the pitch is chopped out towards second. Nice pickup by Profar. He whips it across his body. And that is out number 1.
When you've got that kind of arm, that play up the middle becomes a lot easier than it is for certain second basemen. Not a problem for Ranger second baseman, but watch him throw this ball going towards second base. Fired a strike.
I think he's done that a time or 2 before.
Yeah. Well, he's doing a really nice job at second, short, and third.
Yeah.
For a 20-year-old that's been a shortstop.
Yeah, Robbie Grossman and Matt Garza has broken out his low heater in this inning.
He'd bring out his good stuff this inning.
Grossman began the game by being called out on strikes. Garza got the first 2 hitters of the ball game looking at a 3rd strike. Misses low to Grossman. It's 1-1. Grossman has hit safely in 17 of his 20 games since being recalled from AAA. He shoots that pitch foul. And Garza now with a 1-ball, 2-strike advantage. He was called back up for the 3rd time to the Astros on the 27th of July. That 6-game hitting streak that he has going right now. That follows a 10-game streak that the Rangers broke in the first game of that 4-game series last week. 1-2 pitch. Fouled back. And we'll try it again. Matt Garza, the 29-year-old Californian. He's from the central San Joaquin Valley, up right around Fresno. Went to Fresno State. Fresno State Bulldog. Originally the property of the Minnesota Twins. Well, a good pitch in on his fist, and you got to give credit to Grossman for being able to get a piece of that fastball.
Yeah, he was better off getting a piece of that one than he was hitting it on the middle of the bat, because it probably wouldn't have gone very far.
Garza studying the signs. Brzezinski getting set, and the target low and in. Just missed with that pitch. He upped it to 96 miles per hour.
Could have been.
Might have thrown it too hard for it to come back.
Same one he fouled off.
Yeah. Now the 2-2. And the chopper off his front foot that goes foul. But Grossman having a pretty good at bat here against Garza. Hasn't been able to center anything, but he has seen a lot of pitches. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat coming, and it's still a 2-2 count. Garza ready to work. Goes to the wind. Got him swinging.
Best fastball we've seen from Matt all the time that he's been here. In all 6 starts, every pitch was 94 to 96.
So 2 gone. Red Wallace coming up, and right now let's take time for a Mazda game break with John Radigan. John? All right, John, thank you. It's a big series in that wild card chase and the Eastern Division. Swing and a miss by Brett Wallace. It is 0-1. Boston with a 1-game lead now over Tampa Bay. Baltimore 4.5 back of the Red Sox, but in the middle of things for the second wild card spot. The fastball strike. And Wallace now down on the count, 0-2.
I think Carter's double got Matt a little bit upset.
Might have.
Because he's come back throwing bullets since then, boy.
Yeah, it might have. He's been known to get a little perturbed, and
I like this kind of perturbed.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, that didn't feel very good. Garza able to handle that. A very quick and tidy 1-2-3 inning. He's now retired 6 straight. After 2.5, the Rangers 2, the Astros 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Don't miss the Ford Summer Spectacular featuring blockbuster deals. Now playing at your best in Texas Ford dealer. And by Jack in the Box. Go big with Jack's really big chicken combos. A beautiful moon over Rangers ballpark. Rangers come to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning, leading 2-1. It'll be at the top of the order. Leonis Martin, Elvis Andrus, and Ian Kinsler. And a bunt out in front of home plate. Corcoran fields, throws, not in time.
Wow.
That wasn't that good a bunt either from Martin, but Corcoran kind of took his time, feeling like he had a play, and Leonis said, beat that out.
That was an exciting play, boy. Watching the speed, the catcher try to be a shortstop and field that. Fired it to first. Bang, bang play. That's pretty. In case the umpire needed some help, Leonis is going to give him a little help after he touches the bag. Safe. Nicely done.
The Martin aboard. And now Elvis steps in there. He executed a perfect hit and run the first time Rangers had this combo aboard.
And Martin's 2 for 2, and he hasn't hit the ball a total of 150 feet, I don't think. Well, no, one went 10 feet and 70, about 80 feet.
Yeah,
I guess.
Hasn't gotten off the infield grass yet.
Hasn't hit the dirt, but he's 2 for 2.
And Elvis 1 for 1 with that base hit to right through the vacated right side. Takes a pitch on the outside corner. Harrell getting ahead in the count, 0-1. So Elvis now at 256 with the average. Came around to steal home back in the 1st inning, the 3rd steal of home in his career. That was the back end of a double steal. That's the most in Rangers history as far as larceny of home. Snap throw to first. Leonis Martin having to dive to the outside part of the bag.
Buzz, because of the volume of requests we mentioned yesterday, we had to raise the limit for birthdays to 90. You see the close play at first base, snap throw. So with that in mind, we got a little shorter list today.
So I guess I missed by a year of getting mine.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait a while.
Okay.
First one we have is Joe McMurtry from Temple is 91. You might recognize the last name McMurtry for a lot of reasons, but one is because he's the dad of Craig McMurtry, former Ranger pitcher, all around great guy. Hope you're watching, Mac and Joe. Happy 91st birthday. The Reverend Clarence Knippa from Tulsa, Oklahoma is 100 years old today. He's a Lutheran minister and huge Ranger fan. Happy Parker from Perryton, 102 years old yesterday. Happy, I'm sorry I missed that yesterday, but happy 102nd birthday. Mildred Woodward from Breckenridge is 96 years old. And one is getting grandfathered in because I missed it yesterday. Dr. J. Pat Evans was 83 years old yesterday. So happy birthday, everybody. And sorry we had to limit it from now on to people over 90 years old.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Harold studying the signs as Leonis Martin gets his lead at first. Pitch to Elvis, hit up the middle. That is a base hit. Martin around second and falls down, so he has to go back. He had third base easily, but in his haste to get around the bag, he missed a step and fell flat on his face. Was lucky he wasn't double off second.
Yeah, I thought where he ended up, he was going to be doubled off second. But that's a little bit of a tough break. Instead of a man in scoring position where he could score on a sacrifice fly, he's only on second, but a great start to the inning. Would have been the second straight inning. An infield hit, this time a bunt, and a ground ball single to the outfield. Would have been 2 first and thirds in the first and the third inning. Looked like he might have looked back to see the ball and just lost track of where his feet were.
You're going to have Dennis Klein, the Rangers' great groundskeeper, bank that a little bit higher. You get that speed going around there, and you need that bank to kind of kick off of. So first and second now with nobody out. Ian Kinsler up. Kinsler had a sacrifice line drive to center field in the first inning. He's going to bunt. It's a good one. Corcoran to first, and Kinsler is out, but the sacrifice, which goes 2-3, moves the runners along 90 feet. Martin to third, Andrews to second.
Good idea by Ian right there. If you beat it out, great. If you don't, you move the runners. Last time in this situation, Adrian was intentionally walked. First base open, I mean.
Yeah, see the same thing happen. Last time Harrell worked around him until he got to 3 balls, and they intentionally walked him on the 4th one. First pitch from Harrell is inside for ball 1. Didn't really come close with any of the first 3 last time up.
Yeah, the third pitch, the catcher was setting up about 8 inches outside for his target, so you know he wasn't trying to throw him a strike.
He's out there again, the 1-0 pitch. Now 2-0. Say one thing, with Corcoran wants that ball outside off the plate, he's going to get his whole body out there.
He is.
And Corcoran going to go out and talk to Harrell and also the shortstop, VR. See what they've got in mind here. VR probably wants to find out if they're going to throw him anything hittable, and if they are, what they're going to try to throw him.
Missed one birthday, Buzz. Gordon McDonald from Richardson, 96 years old today. He's got a 102, a 100, and 2 96s. Mildred Woodward, Clarence Knippa, Happy Parker, and Gordon McDonald. Happy birthday.
2-0 pitch.
Watch out.
Throw to second, not in time as Elvis getting a pretty good lead. And Corcoran, boy, that gun that he's got.
He can really throw,
He
boy.
can. Made that reasonably close.
Gotta be careful. Especially when you can throw it that hard and that accurate.
And now they're going to intentionally walk Beltre again. Well, the same pattern both times, a similar situation. First base open, this time Beltre with the walk will load the bases for A.J. Brzezinski.
Well, I'm betting they don't get A.J. this time. Got A.J. to swing at a pitch well out of the strike zone to strike him out after he fouled off a couple of pitches. I'm thinking that's not going to happen this time.
Would it make Brzezinski a better hitter in this case to have seen that happen in front of him, to have Beltre intentionally walk? I mean, you hear it bear down all the time. Does that happen?
You know, I think it affects people in a different way. I think it motivates every hitter for sure. They've walked somebody, okay, fine, I'm going to get you. But I think some hitters are able to relax and do it, and others might get a little over anxious, try too hard, and maybe expand the strike zone a little bit. Now for AJ, expanding the strike zone isn't just something that would happen here. He expands the strike zone every time anyway, so that's really not an issue with him.
Pulls this one through to right field, a base hit. Andrews scores, or I should say Martin scores. Here comes Andrews. The throw, the slide, he is safe. A two-run single by A.J. Brzezinski, and the Rangers go on top 4-1.
Well, they got him last time, but they didn't get him this time. Got a pretty decent pitch to hit, made some solid contact, and brings in 2 runs. So good baseball right there. 2 men on, sacrificed them, and then drive them in. Trying to throw it down and away. Pretty much did throw it down and away, but you know, like we're saying about AJ, he expands the strike zone every at bat of his career. He hardly ever walks. Most people couldn't hit 280 if they swung at the pitches AJ swings at, but he can. He hits those pitches. And that's the exact pitch he was trying to make right there.
Yeah, it'd be hard for AJ to expand it any more than he already does. There's a breaking ball to Alex Rios that's flowing outside for ball 1.
You wouldn't think, you know, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball tailing down and away, low and out of the strike zone, is a pitch you could solidly ground into right field for a 2-run hit.
Now he's got to be one of those guys that if he sees it well, it doesn't matter where it is.
No, it really doesn't.
Have a pretty good swing at it. Pitch to Rios. There's a line drive base hit to left field. Beltre had to hold up to make sure it went through. He will advance only to third base, but the Rangers have reloaded the bases. Alex Rios with his first hit of the night, and Mitch Moreland now coming up with the sacks filled and only 1 out.
Well, right back in the same situation that AJ was in. Bases loaded and 1 out, trying to add to the lead. Nice sweet swing right there by Alex Rios. He really doesn't look like he maxes his effort on anything he does. It comes so smoothly down. He throws smoothly, he runs gracefully. Got a nice smooth swing. Makes everything look easy.
And Doug Brocail out there to give his battery a little breather. Yeah, we have this chance here. We're going to remind you that this September, Metro PCS is giving your child a chance to take outfielder David Murphy to school. Log on to MetroPCSTakeAPlayer.com for your chance to win. Metro PCS, wireless for all. Moreland steps in. Mitch grounded out to third his first time up. He hammers one to center field. Grossman is going back. It's over his head all the way to the wall. Beltre scores. Brzezinski behind him will score. Into second with a 2-run double. Mitch Moreland in his 6-1 Rangers.
That's the name of the game this inning. Get the leadoff men on base to set it up for the middle of the lineup. A nice sacrifice bunt, and then key hits with the bases loaded. Men in scoring position, a 2-run single, a 2-run double. That's just about perfect offensive baseball this inning. Take advantage of a pretty good pitch to hit. But as we've said all year, Buzz, when the 2 guys at the top of the order get on base, then good things happen. And Martin and Andrus have both been on twice. They've both scored twice.
You spent a lot of time watching Robbie Grossman turn around and see his number going toward the wall tonight. He has played a shallow center field, and he has had to use that ability to go back. Rangers a 24-1 record this year when scoring 5 or more runs. That's the best in Major League Baseball. Here's Profar, and a breaking ball in the dirt to him. Runs the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Jurickson popped out to short back in the 2nd inning. The 4 runs across in the inning. Still just 1 out. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Profar trying to increase the Ranger advantage. Harrell working from the stretch. Infield pulled all the way in. Off speed, and that is low. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Yeah, Corcoran going out. Dual purpose visit to say something to Harrell and also take some time to allow the bullpen to heat up. We want to remind you that Harrell was not supposed to start today. Jordan Lyles was supposed to be the starter, but Bo Porter had to use Lyles in relief yesterday. Wade LeBlanc, the left-hander, up and throwing in the bullpen now. But Lyles had to pitch yesterday, pitched a couple of innings, so that necessitated Harrell getting the start. And a fastball, belt high for a strike. It's 3-1. Profar currently hitting at .242. You got Rios at 3rd, Moreland at 2nd. Harrell sets and the pitch. And ball 4. That loads the bases one more time and will bring David Murphy to the hill.
Well, so far they've had 2 hits with the bases loaded. 2 2-run hits. And David trying to make it 3 in the same inning.
Bo Porter and Doug Brocail not exactly happy cappers over there, and you can understand why. They're going to have their catcher Corcoran take a little more time if he possibly can. Going out to the mound. LeBlanc, one of the 2 left-handers. Kevin Chapman, the other.
Well, it looks like the Astros, they list 6 relievers, which is 1 less than most teams use and 2 less than sometimes teams use. They have 6 starters, but as you mentioned, Buzz, one of the starters pitched in relief yesterday. So Harrell, who is one of their 7 relievers, has to pitch today. There's only 6 guys today out in the bullpen, unless I guess one of the starters would be available again today.
And now Bo Porter said, okay, he's taking enough time. I need to have that left-hander come on in to face David Murphy. See if we can shut down this Ranger offense. So Lucas Harrell, another tough outing against the Rangers. He gave up 7 runs in 3 2/3 his last start against this Texas ball club. And tonight, well, he leaves having given up 6 already in 2 1/3. And he is responsible for the 3 runners on base. So Wade LeBlanc coming on, the left-hander, will face David Murphy with the bases full. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest.
3rd inning and looking to add to what has already been a tremendous month of August. Over the past 2 seasons, the Rangers are 31-14 in August, by far the best team in baseball. So before the game, I asked David Murphy, what is their secret to neutralizing these dog days of summer?
This is kind of that point in the season where we really are hitting our stride. You know, I think in April and May you might be fresh, but you might not have found your rhythm as a team yet. So by now, you know, we've started to gel, we've started to play well together, and you know, we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we see the possibility for postseason.
And that's just it, Buzz. Being fresh and healthy is a big part of it, but also being in contention. What a motivating factor that is. This team with playoff aspirations for a 4th straight season knows how important these games are in August and September.
Yeah, good stuff, Dana. Important points. LeBlanc now dealing to David Murphy. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Murphy, a strikeout, his first time up. LeBlanc, this season at AAA, appeared in 15 ball games down there, went 3-1. And And Murphy pulls that very slow delivery from the sidearmer. Foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. LeBlanc just called up today from AAA Oklahoma City. This is his second time up with the Astros. Made 3 appearances with them in June. Ground ball up the middle. Altuve to second. They drop the ball. Everybody's safe. And down the line to score comes Moreland. So 2 runs are across. The Rangers lead 8-1.
Boy, they had a pretty good chance to get out of the inning right there. Instead, the inning is prolonged. It's kind of like that 8-run inning the other night, where a double play wasn't turned, and it just kept going and going. It's a good feed. It looked like the shortstop VR just took his eye off the ball. Watch his eyes as the flip comes to him. He looks down at Profar, takes his eye off the ball, never caught the ball.
Well, that's going to be a fielder's choice, an RBI for Murphy. An error allowing Moreland to score the second run on that play. Rangers now with a 7-run advantage. And Leonis Martin up for the 3rd time here in 3 innings. He is the 10th man to come to the plate. Well, the Rangers, who put 15 on the board against Seattle on Saturday night, batted around twice in that game. And they have batted around here in the 3rd inning.
And that's when you don't wait for the signal from the coach. You're looking at the ball. You make the decision whether you can get home or not. Obviously, he could.
So 1-1 to Martin. Leonis has singled twice on the infield. Once on a bunt, once on a chopper to second. Takes that pitch low and away. 2-1 now the count. Martin has scored a couple of runs. Well, Leonis with those 2 hits now, the average up to 278. LeBlanc set, and the pitch. 3-1 the count. Leonis working the left hand. If he is able to get aboard, Elvis Andrus waits in the on-deck circle. He would bat with the bases full at least. The 3-1. Ball 4. That'll loads him up. Well, from the frying pan into the fire, and Bo Porter. Well, let's just say it's something that Bo Porter has seen, as far as he's concerned, far too often this year. The bullpen, very young and inexperienced, and just having trouble in most situations being consistent.
Yeah, and they've had a decent road trip. They played some pretty good baseball in Oakland, played some nice baseball in Anaheim. So they've actually been playing some decent ball.
First pitch to Elvis is inside for ball 1. Andrus, like Martin, has singled twice and scored twice. You see the highest ERAs for the bullpen in the American League. 0.6 of a run higher than Seattle is Houston's bullpen. The 1-0. 1-1. It's his turn now to grit his teeth a little bit. 5 for 13 this year with the bases full. And that's the situation that Elvis is hitting here in the 3rd inning. Profar, Murphy, and Martin, the runners at 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. 6 runs across in the frame. Rangers leading 8-1. 1-1 pitch. Big slow hook. And that bends over the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes. Elvis at 257 with the average. RBI total at 42 as he faces LeBlanc. In the dirt, Corporan having to go down to both knees to block that pitch. And the count evens at 2-2. Well, the Rangers on Saturday night had that 5-run second inning against Felix Hernandez and put 8 up on the board in the 8th inning in that same game. 15 runs in the game started by Felix Hernandez. That's the most ever given up by a Seattle club in a game that Felix Hernandez started. Chopper to third, backhanded and dropped by Dominguez. He has no play. In to score, Profar. Everybody else is safe, and the Rangers lead 9-1.
Well, obviously, that's a makeable play, but it wasn't a simple play. It's a backhand play, and it's going to be a short hop. Dominguez just wasn't able to navigate the short hop. Not a hard hit ball, but it's a tricky hop. It's kind of a big short hop. Wasn't able to get it in the glove. We've seen him be pretty steady at third base. Just wasn't able to come up with that one.
Now that's going to be scored an error all the way on Matt Dominguez. Second error of the inning. Rangers now lead 9-1. Still bases loaded. Still 1 out. Here's Ian Kinsler, and he hits a drive to left field. Going to settle in for a hit. Murphy scores. Leonis Martin coming to the plate. He will score. And the Rangers lead it 11-1 as Ian Kinsler drives in a pair.
Said this was like the inning the other night against the Mariners. It's surpassed that now. Fastball to hit. Nice level swing by Ian. And the runs keep coming.
Yep. A single and 2 runs home. 2 RBI for Ian Kinsler. He advances to second. Elvis Andrus goes to third on the throw. And the Rangers have another situation. Adrian Beltre now with his 3rd at bat of the night. He has come up in identical situations all 3 times. First base open, runners at second and third.
Well, you know, if the Astros used a starting pitcher in relief last night, that their bullpen is thin. The starter's gone before the 3rd inning is over, and the reliever already thrown 16 pitches. Double play could have ended the inning 10 minutes ago. Another error was made, and there's still only 1 out.
Well, Lucas Harrell probably has some sympathy right about now for Wade LeBlanc. And, yeah, sorry I brought you into this mess. 2-0 pitch on the way to Beltre. Chopper to short. That's going to score another run. Villar drops it, but recovers in time to throw out Beltre.
If he boots that ball,
yeah,
they might want to concede.
Well, it's now a 10-run inning, and the Rangers lead 12-1. As Beltre gets the RBI on a ground out, his 76th of the year.
Well, in the game, Martin and Elvis have been up 6 times in 3 innings, and they've scored 6 times. They've each scored twice in this inning.
Yep. That's doing a pretty good job of setting the table. Now the Rangers with 10 across here in the 3rd inning. They lead 12-2. Pitch to A.J. Pierzynski in the dirt, and Ian Kinsler will not try to advance as the ball gets away from Corcoran, but only slightly. Pierzynski had the 2-run single that opened the scoring in this inning. His base hit drove home both Leonis Martin and Elvis Andrus. You've got Kinsler out there at second, and the 1-1 pitch. Slicing fly ball left center field. Dropping in a hurry, it is down for a hit. Kinsler will score. Pierzynski has his 3rd RBI of the inning, and the Rangers lead 13-1. And with that, with Ian Kinsler coming around to score, every Ranger in the lineup has scored at least 1 run.
There's more runs being scored, but it's a lot like that inning the other night. Infield hits, bloopers, line drives, walks, and errors. Every way you can do it offensively, the Rangers have done it this inning.
Now Alex Rios up for the second time. He singled and scored. The breaking ball stays outside. It's 2-0. Rios 1 for 2 tonight. LeBlanc back to the plate. Carlos Corcoran is why me in a thing like this? I've been out here now for 11 runs this inning, and I got to get a foul ball like that.
Well, he can still smile about it.
Yeah.
He's pretty much saying, hey, what can I do? I'm a catcher. Boy, right in the middle of that helmet. It's like a punch to the head. Mask is like the boxing glove, but it feels about the same.
2-1 to Rios. To right center field. In a hurry is HOU. He runs it down in the alley, and that will do it. But the Rangers score 11 here in the third inning. They strand a runner. We'll go to the fourth. It's now the Rangers 13. Much to the delight of the home crowd. The Astros won on Fox Sports Southwest.
The Fox Sports Fan Express rolled in for the beautiful town of Waco, Texas. Oh, yeah, on hand. Plenty of Ranger fans, plenty of Baylor Bear fans, of course. Courtesy ESPN Radio in Central Texas. Lauren, I understand not a seat available, packed house. You guys coming down here enjoying it. How was the bus ride?
It was awesome. We had so much fun. This guy right here, he just had a crazy time, let me tell you.
With the Rangers! Oh, looks like a crazy guy. Okay, you also had a message for David Murphy's professor. What was this about?
We just wanted to tell Professor Fred from Baylor University that we love David Murphy and we know you were teaching him, and we just all support him and love you very much.
All right, there we go. Okay, good to have you out here. Enjoy the rest of the game. Enjoy this 13-1 Ranger lead. There we go. Buzz.
All right, Jim. A happy group and a happy house here with all the Ranger fans watching 11 runs come across in the Ranger third inning. Matt Garza back to the hill facing Jose Altuve, and Garza fires strike one. A little bit of historical perspective on that 11-run Ranger third inning. That's the most the Rangers have scored in any inning since back in September of 2009, September 26th to be exact. And, the odd thing about it, too, they did not hit a home run and have not for a while, in about 5 games. So the Rangers doing all this with singles, doubles, etc., errors, no round trippers. It's also the most scored by any team in the majors since the Cardinals scored 12 runs in an inning last year. Altuve fights one foul out of play, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Last American League team to score 11 runs. You go back to 2011. The Yankees did that on July 30th, 2 years ago. So there's a little bit of where the Ranger third inning tonight stands in historical terms. Altuve loops a fly ball to right field, almost dead in his tracks. Alex Rios captures it for out number 1.
Well, 7 in a row retired by Matt Garza since Carter doubled in Castro in the second inning. He has definitely commanded the ball the way he wants to since then with really good stuff.
And he will face Jason Castro here with 1 out and the base is empty. Castro lined a double off the wall right in front of the Ranger bullpen. He hit it about halfway up the wall as he led off the second. Then 1 pitch later, Chris Carter doubled him home as he wrapped one off the left field wall. And fastball up and in for ball 1. Jason Castro hitting a .269 now after that second inning 2-bagger. Garza back to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. I have the feeling that, and you mentioned it last inning, Tom, that Matt Garza was a little bit miffed at himself about the back-to-back doubles he gave up.
Well, he's really concentrated on his location. He's amped up his velocity a little bit as well.
There's a base hit by Castro right back to the box.
And base hit. Pretty good pitch, though. Fastball inside part of the plate. Jammed him a little bit, but he was able to fight it off and find a hole.
So Castro 2 for 2. Double and now a single. Pretty quick swing by Castro and able to get good enough wood on it to get it through the middle of the infield. So 1 on, 1 out. Here's Carter. He picked on the first Garza offering he saw in the second inning. Hit a topspin line drive off the wall in left field. There's a breaking ball that he did not see the first time. It is strike 1. Carter having a good road trip. This, as we mentioned, the 7th game of the Astros road swing. 3 in Oakland, 3 in Anaheim preceded this series. Garza's next pitch. That's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carter with a couple of home runs in the first 6 games. He's gone 6 for 23. Had a career high 5 RBI in the game against the Angels on Friday night. Rip and a miss. Another good slider. A ball and 2 strikes. Astros in their press notes make an issue out of the percentage of sliders that Chris Carter sees. I don't know why this is taking statistics a little bit too far. Just off the outside corner. They make note that he sees the highest percentage of sliders anybody in the majors at 22.7%. I'm surprised it's not 50%.
Yeah. That doesn't seem like an enormous amount.
You must face a lot of guys that don't have sliders. The only reason I can think of to have that percentage down.
Yeah.
The guy can't hit it. Why would you throw in anything else?
Yeah, it seemed like it would be higher than that.
The Garza's run the count full to him now, and with 1 out, he doesn't want to lose Chris Carter. He's got Matt Dominguez coming up next. But a runner in the person of Jason Castro at first. 1 out. And the payoff pitch coming. Got that slider inside, and Carter able to foul it back. We'll try the 3-2 pitch again. Garza is ready. A check of first. Got him swinging. Went up with a fastball, and Carter swung through it.
96 miles an hour. Best velocity we've seen from Matt as a Ranger.
Strikeout number 5 for Matt Garza. Well, folks, Medical Center Arlington and the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation are teaming up to bring you the Rangers Labor Day Race. You join other runners for a scenic jog through Arlington's Entertainment Central and finish your 5K on the field at Rangers Ballpark. Visit TexasRangers.com/race to sign up. A 2 gone. Matt Dominguez, a ground ball to short, his first time. Garza's 0-1 pitch coming. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Nothing in 2 as Matt Garza jumps ahead. That strikeout, by the way, Matt Garza's 5th of the night. Ranger right-handers ready to go. The 0-2 pitch. Foul back. Matt Dominguez, 16 home runs. You say, well, that's not a big deal. It is the way he has done it. He went 33 games without homering this year. And then he started hitting home runs like they're going out of style. He has put things together. This young man, just his 2nd year at the major league level. Only 23 years old. And he's the youngest Astro player to have 16 or more home runs in a season since way back in 1974 when Cesar Cedeno hit 26 when he was 23 years of age. A ball and 2 strikes. Now 2-2. Matt Garza with his 6th start in a Ranger uniform. It's his 17th start overall, including his time with the Cubs. In the air to center field, Leonis Martin backing up a few steps, puts it away, and that will do it. So the 1-out single by Castro, no damage. 1 left stranded after 3.5. The Rangers 13, the Astros 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. For Chevy hometown kids, it's not about the score, it's about the experience. Well, we go to the bottom of the 4th. The experience for those youngsters has been pretty positive tonight. Their favorite team, the Rangers, have put 13 on the board in the first 3 innings. And we have a new defensive player in position now as Carlos Corporan, the Astros catcher, apparently feeling the effects of that foul ball that he took.
It looked like it hit him
helmet
right square in the forehead. I'd have to think that's why he's out of there. They've got their utility infielder. Jake Elmore is catching now.
Now, if you want to call him the emergency catcher, I guess this is an emergency.
This is an emergency.
13-1, and Corporan out, and Jason Castro, your other catcher, is DHing. So instead of losing the DH, they'll have their emergency guy back there. Well, Mitch Moreland to start things off. Moreland, a big 2-run double in that 11-run 3rd inning. He takes the first pitch inside from LeBlanc. It is 1-0.
You know, if this was a close game, Buzz, they might consider putting Castro behind the plate.
Yeah.
But in this kind of a game, you know the Rangers aren't going to be running. So the need for strong defense behind the plate is not quite as great.
Right.
And I'm sure that the Astros want to give Castro kind of a half a night off as well. Why put him in to catch the last 6 innings of this game? You're never going to quit, but at the same time, reality is that they're not probably going to come back from being down 13-1.
Sure.
And besides, Elmore looks pretty good back there, so he can handle it.
3-0 the count. Now 3-1. And if they weren't real positive that Elmore could get the job done, you might as well find out now.
Yeah. I hope you never have to see it again, but at least you'll know one way or the other.
Moreland fouls it back to the screen, and the count is filled. Well, Jake Elmore, we get the information, caught 1 inning when he was at AA Mobile back in August of 2011, a couple of years ago. And
plenty of experience.
Yeah, he's knocking the rust off here tonight. Payoff pitch. And a ground ball to Altuve's right. Up with it and throws out Moreland by a step. 1 gone. Rich Dykert, our great statistician, got that nugget for us.
Wow, that's a pretty good nugget.
At least he's not asleep. Had to check over there a couple times, but he's still awake. Well, 1 gone here in the Ranger 4th, and Jurickson Profar will step up. Profar walked in the only at bat he had in that 6th inning. Rangers had 15 hitters come to the plate in that 3rd inning. Profar wasn't one of the 15. He did walk, or he was one of the ones, but he didn't come up twice, is what I was trying to get across. 0 for 1 tonight. A pop out and a walk. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm not sure I can remember witnessing an inning where everybody in the lineup scored at least 1 run. That happened.
I know, not by the 3rd inning, that's for sure.
No, in that inning.
In that inning?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I remember an inning. I'm sure it's happened quite often, but you know, when teams scored 14, 15 runs. But I don't think I've ever seen one.
I don't remember it, although the Rangers have had some pretty big innings.
Yep.
There's not that many games where every guy in the lineup scores in the whole game.
No, you're right. Profar grounds out to third, and 2 away for David Murphy. Well, folks, Carter Blood Care needs your help every Friday this month to save 1,000 lives. Just 1 pint of blood donated can save up to 3 lives, and when you give blood, you'll automatically be entered to win a Fox Sports VIP experience. Fans have saved 200 lives so far, so come on out this Friday at either the TCU Recreation Center in Fort Worth from 6 to 11 a.m. or the Longhorn Harley Davidson in Grand Prairie from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and help us save 1,000. While we were telling you about Carter Blood Care, David Murphy with his 23rd double of the year. Well, Murphy, with his first hit of the night, he drove in a run on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning. Well, Murphy at second, and for the 4th time now in 4 innings, Leonis Martin is coming to the plate. 2 for 2, a walk, 3 runs scored. Other than that, it's been a pretty quiet night for the Ranger leadoff man. Breaking ball, and it turns him around as it hangs inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Martin hitting at .278 as he faces LeBlanc here in the 4th inning. Another breaking ball, and that's a bit low. 2-0. Martin had most of the night off, or most of the afternoon off yesterday. Came on defensively in the 9th inning. Up and in, and that fastball missed, and it's 3-0. Leonis getting that day off yesterday, and it had been the first time that since Ron Washington had put him up at the leadoff spot that Leonis had a day off. Rangers had been very, very good with Martin batting first and Kinsler batting third. 3-0 pitch right down the middle.
Yeah, LeBlanc has had to throw 40 pitches to get 4 outs because of the 2 errors that were made last inning. Otherwise, he could have gotten out of the 3rd inning in 1 batter.
Rip and a miss. The count fills. Murphy at second base after the 2-out double. That was the 10th Ranger hit of the night. Leonis trying to prolong this 4th inning. Payoff pitch to him. Pulled on the ground wide at first, into right field, a base hit. Murphy around third will score without a throw. Leonis Martin with his 3rd hit of the night, and the Rangers lead 14-1.
Martin's been up 4 times in 4 innings, 3 hits and a walk.
Breaking ball, pretty much staying in the middle of the plate, and Martin able to pull it by the diving right side of the infield. So still 2 outs. Here's Elvis, who has singled twice and been on via an error. He takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Elvis has an RBI, his 43rd of the year. LeBlanc with a 1-0 pitch. Now 2-0. Elvis hitting at .257 as he bats here in the 4th inning. Wade LeBlanc with the next pitch. Elvis feeling pretty good. He was trying to get his second home run.
You know, and the funny thing is, when he hit his one home run, the farthest thing from his mind was hitting a home run. He just got the right pitch in the right spot, but he was just trying to make some solid contact.
The ball hangs outside. It's 3-1.
Well, the one thing for the Astros bullpen, they won't have to pitch the ninth inning. That's one inning they don't have to worry about. But they're going to have to somehow get through 4 more.
Foul down. The count is full. And the Rangers 14 runs on 11 hits so far. Lucas Harrell worked the first 2 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 9 runs, 7 of which were earned. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. And now Wade LeBlanc trying to close out the Ranger 4th. Payoff pitch on the way. Inside ball 4. And there are 2 aboard with 2 outs for Ian Kinsler.
Martin and Elvis have been on every single time, 8 times. Elvis one time got on an error. He got 5 hits, 2 walks, and an error. You can't set the table much better than that.
No, I don't think so. Kinsler has had a couple of sacrifices tonight. Once a fly and once a bunt. The other time he had a 2-run single. He's got Leonis Martin at second, Elvis Andrus at first. And the straight change floats in for strike 1. Ian now 53 runs driven in this year. And batting average at 268. The 0-1 pitch. Nothing in 2. 74 miles an hour, and Kinsler probably felt like he could have had a cup of coffee and read the morning paper before
Could
that
have
thing
swung
got there.
twice.
LeBlanc with the 0-2. Tried to wait on that. That has to feel like an eternity. You know, you're used to tuning it up to mid-90s or so, and all of a sudden the guy comes in throwing like this, 20 miles an hour slower. Martin the lead from second. Andrews away from first. Again, the 0-2 pitch coming. Hit pretty well. That's playable in left center field for Grossman. Puts it away, and that will do it. The Rangers score another run, though. On a couple of hits, they strand 2. 4 innings in the books. The Rangers 14 and the Astros 1. But it's Texas' original jackpot game, and it's available at your favorite lottery retailer. Well, we're going to the top of the 5th inning, and joining us now, as he always does, in the Fox Sports Southwest telecast, Mark McLemore, co-host of Rangers Live. And Mac, it seems like it's been either the penthouse or the basement for the Ranger offense the last 4 games. 15 one night, 14 tonight. The other 2 nights, zilch, basically.
It seems to be going that way pretty much every other day the past week or so. But, the good thing about it is that they're scoring runs.
Yeah.
29 runs in the last 3 days, or 33 runs in the last 3 days. That's pretty good.
And if you're Matt Garza, you have to appreciate this support. It had been a kind of a rough go for Matt the last few outings at close ball games, and he wasn't up to his usual self. And now tonight, he can afford to kick back a little bit and relax some.
Now, is it harder to pitch with a huge lead like this? Or?
No, I never bought into that.
No?
I'd love to have a 10-run lead every time out. I'll take my chances. I'll figure out something. I may only last 5 innings, but I'll figure out something. 1-1 pitch.
You probably do have to put out of your mind, okay, I've got to win today, and just, what do? Imagine that it's a close game and pitch like you would if it's a 4-2 game.
I tried to. I mean, when it really got out of hand, we had a huge lead, like this one. I consider this huge. I play little games within the game. With each hitter, I try to pretend he was up, with a runner at second, nobody out, and I wanted to try to get him, but not to the point where I'd go 3-2 because I was trying to be cute with it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure hitters do the same kind of thing when things are getting out of hand a little bit. Play a game with yourself from time to time, to maybe for a pitch or 2 pitches, don't you?
Well, I think the game that I would play is, let's see how many hits I can get in one inning. Okay. How many hits, how many runs, how many, RBIs, something like that. I wasn't good enough to say, okay, let me mess around with balls and strikes.
No, I wouldn't either.
A little above my talent level.
Yeah, you kind of say to yourself, you don't get many opportunities where the other pitcher is pitching this bad, and I've got a chance to add to my totals here. You have to take it a little selfishly, I guess, when you're ahead like this. Bear down each at bat. Hey, put a number on the board.
Now the leadoff walk, I'm sure that Matt Garza won't be happy about that, walking Jake Elmore. And comes back to throw a strike here to L.J. Hose. Hose grounded out to first, his first time up there.
This is the kind of game where guys are, looking at the scoreboard. Okay, 13-run lead. What inning are we in? Probably about the 6th inning, maybe even the 5th inning with a lead this big. Guys that haven't had a whole lot of playing time will start coming into the game. But with this Rangers team, Wash uses this entire bench, so there's not anybody over there on the bench really that really hasn't had a lot of at-bats. Soto's probably the only guy that, probably got the least amount of at-bats. But something tells me he's not going to put him in there tonight.
Garza's 1-2 pitch. Out of play to the right.
See, right now, if I were L.J. Hose, I'd be saying, all right, let me see if I can hit a one-hopper right at shortstop hard. No, that's not what I would be saying if I was him. That's what I'm saying right now to myself.
He's trying to hit it hard someplace, but I don't think he has shortstop in mind.
Now, he's going to have to get it started a little bit sooner to hit it in fair territory.
Garza with another 1-2 pitch on the way. Now 2-2. Hose hitting in the number 8 slot in the Astros order tonight. It's got Jake Elmore at first against Matt Garza. Elmore, as you can see, not being held on at first by Mitch Moreland. The 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Breaking ball, and Hose is down on strikes. That is 6 strikeouts now for Matt Garza. 1 away. And Jonathan Villar coming up.
Six strikeouts for Matt. Trying to chase that slider. Pretty close to being a strike.
Yeah, Tom, you had mentioned the fastball, the good velocity of the fastball. This might be the sharpest slider we've seen him have, too.
Yeah, since Carter's at bat, for sure, everything's been good.
There's what you were looking for. Profar turns it over, and they go 6-4-3. A double play that erases the leadoff walk and gets the Rangers off the field. Halfway through the ball game, it's the Rangers 14, the Astros 1. From now through August 27th, and enter to win, I should say, free Rangers tickets and a VIP Rangers experience. Visit otbfanzone.com for more details. Well, Adrian Beltre coming up. Adrian 0 for 1 officially. But he has been intentionally walked twice tonight. And he has gotten the RBI on a ground out, and he hits the first pitch down to third. Dominguez will take care of that for out number 1. And right here, let's take time for a Mazda game break with John Radigan. John?
The bat speed on Stanton's home run, 106.5 miles an hour.
All right.
Wow.
What's the highest one we've seen? Nelly Cruz was.
Yeah, he was
112,
110, I think.
110,
110 point something. It was quick.
Well, you know, there was a game in spring training a few years ago. I didn't see this game. It was in Tucson. I think they were playing the Diamondbacks, and Nelly evidently hit a line shot that short hopped the wall.
That's going to be trouble. It's up the alley off the bat of Brzezinski, and it's going to be extra bases, and it goes to the wall. AJ will stop at second. The fans
wanted to see it.
Go. They wanted a triple, but AJ said, no, he'll check in with his first double and his third hit of the night.
Anyway, Nelly hit this ball in Tucson, and the Arizona coaches all said it was the hardest hit ball that they've ever seen in their lives. So that Nelly has hit the hardest one that we've seen this year is probably not a surprise. There aren't many guys that can hit the ball harder than Nelly. A lot of room out there in right center field, and he found the middle of it.
Well, the Rangers now with an even dozen hits. They lead 14-1. Here's Alex Rios, who has a hit in 3 trips, and he nubs the first one foul. It's 0-1. AJ said, no, I'm not going to go to third. Nah.
That's 14-1. That's probably not a real good thing to do.
No.
1, he would have been out, and 2, he probably got hit the next time.
Yeah.
So.
He might have gotten somebody else hit along with him. 1-1 to Rios.
You know, talking about bat speed, the one guy that I wish I could have seen swing a bat was Frank Howard.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
I did.
Yeah.
Wow, how was that?
Well, you know, I don't. It's hard to compare him to Mark McGwire. You know, and McGwire was juiced and hitting those balls like that. But I think most people that saw Frank would say they can't imagine that anyone could hit the ball harder than he could hit the ball. I don't know what the number would be, but I remember, I didn't see this ball, but I remember players talking about a line drive that he hit just barely over the head of Brooks Robinson that was catchable, and Brooks never got his glove up as the ball went over his head. So I don't, you know, and he was probably playing back on the outfield grass. Dean Chance was a Cy Young Award winner. He used to pitch to Frank, and when he let go of the ball, instead of following through, he'd let go of the ball and then back up 2 quick steps and back of the pitching rubber with his glove up in front of his face. Wow. And I think that was the scariest part about facing him. I think as a pitcher, you literally had to try to pitch him in.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't want to take a chance on a line drive coming back at you.
Tell whoever your third baseman is, they back up a little bit. I mean, he's coming inside with him.
I'm not taking a chance. It's too close.
Now, that was a scary figure in the batter's box. Now, when he faced Frank a couple of times when he was with the Tigers in '73, I think it was. And that was an imposing figure in the batter's box. There were some pretty big guys playing at that time, but Frank Howard was almost a man among boys.
Well, he was an imposing figure in the first base coaching box, and that's all I could ever think about whenever we would play him and he was coaching.
Pacing and clapping his hands
just
like
running back and forth to the dugout. I'm like, I cannot imagine him with a bat in his hand. That was scary.
Well, and it looked like he used a bat the length of a fungo, but it looked like half a telephone pole too. 2-2 pitch. Hits hard but foul. Look out, Gary Pettis.
He used to, in spring training, he would tune up the Iron Mike pitching machine, get it to throw as hard as it could. I have no idea how hard it threw. And then he would stand about halfway and just wail away at that thing all day long. But when Mark McGwire was playing it, virtually every park that you went to, someone would say, that's where Mark McGwire hit a ball. And the same was true with Frank. Every park you went to, that's where Frank hit a ball. In an old RFK stadium, there were seats painted in the upper deck where he had hit a couple of balls. I think it was off Mickey Lolich, these line drives into the upper deck. He wasn't the only guy that ever hit one up there, but chances are no one ever hit one harder up there than he did.
Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not.
He had 2 balls back-to-back days in Anaheim, one off Andy Messersmith and one off Clyde Wright. But before they had the seats out there, you could see the big A out in left center field.
Oh, yeah.
And they looked like tee shots where you had no idea how far they went. They looked like they went right through the A. But people could see where they landed, and they measured them. And Each one of them was like 515 and 520 feet.
Yeah.
And they signed this giant bat and sent it over to Frank the third day. It's something like to Frank with love. Andy and Clyde. They both beat, they both won the game, so they were feeling pretty good anyway.
Alex Rios got caught looking, and he is gone.
Sam McDowell one day, Alvin Dark was managing the Indians in the first inning. Frank was batting third in the bottom of the first inning. The first two guys made outs. He came up as the third hitter, and Alvin Dark put him on. Not pitch around him, but the catcher stood up and they intentionally walked him.
In the first
third
inning?
Yeah, with nobody on, the third hitter of the game.
Wow.
And he used to wear out Sam McDowell. Sam was maybe the hardest throwing pitcher back then, certainly one of the top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But you might fool him on a breaking ball, but no one in the world could ever throw a fastball. But he might swing and miss at it, but they didn't throw it by him. He just happened to miss it.
Pitch Moreland waiting. And the pitch is off the outside corner. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, that was kind of fun when they used to paint the seats that various people hit balls. I remember Harlem Killebrew's drive in the old Met Stadium in Minneapolis up in the second deck. It seemed like about a $20 cab ride from home plate.
They still have the one in Boston where Ted Williams
That's right.
won.
That's right. 2-0 pitch. Moreland to deep left field. Going back, Carter is going to stop on the edge of the warning track and puts it away. And that'll do it. Rangers get a double, but strand a runner. We've finished 5, and Mac, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll pick up some more tales of the Wild West later on, maybe tomorrow night. All right. 14-1 Rangers. Ball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by the all-new Mazda 6. When you change everything, you change everything. Now 14-1 the score as Matt Garza back out to the hill to start the 6th inning. He will face the top of the Astros order. Astros have 1 run on 3 hits against Garza. 2 of those hits coming back-to-back, starting off the 2nd. They were a pair of doubles that completed the only Astro run tonight. Matt has struck out 6. He has walked just the 1 hitter, that a 1 out or a leadoff walk, I should say, in the 5th inning. Robbie Grossman has struck out both times that he has faced Matt Garza here tonight. And a fastball outside corner. That's action in the bullpen. Philip Umber getting loose for the Astros. Grossman pops it up to left field. Going out, Andrews. Murphy coming on, making the call, and David puts it away. 1 gone. And let's go over and say hello to Jim Knox again. Jim?
Oh, I appreciate it, Buzz. Hey, big night here at the ballpark tomorrow. You know we got a couple big auctions going on. Also, it's Camo Texas Ranger hat giveaway, courtesy Generation Smile. First 30,000 fans receive this nice Texas Rangers camo hat. You know, David right here from Royce City, his mom just thanked me for putting the hat on the head because, look at this, Buzz. Huh? Not bad. There you go, David. We'll keep it on, but nice looking, David. Way to go, buddy. Buzz?
All right, Jim. Thank you. You don't want to mess that up.
No way.
Spent a lot of time doing that.
No kidding.
Red Wallace, the hitter. The 0-1 pitch to him. He is up there hacking and fouls it back. It's 0-2. Wallace is struck out and grounded right back to Garza tonight. 0-2. 219 the average. The Astros' first sacker. Call strike 3.
Airing it out. 96 miles an hour. That fastball. Listen, I guess we've said it before this game, Buzz, but this is the best stuff we've seen from him.
Yep. Very definitely. Well, 2 gone, and I'd like to remind you the sports and highlight show you've been waiting for is here. Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole anchor Fox Sports Live, joined by Donovan McNabb, Gary Payton, Andy Roddick, and Carissa Thompson. They'll bring you everything you need to know about the world of sports. Fox Sports Live airs nightly on Fox Sports 1. A 2-out single by Jose Altuve puts him aboard for Jason Castro. Garza now has allowed 4 hits, and a man who has half those hits stepping into the batter's box as we speak, and that would be Jason Castro. A single and a double, and we're going to have a pinch runner now for Altuve. It'll be Marwin Gonzalez. Just looked over and said hello to you, Darvish.
Yeah, remember that name. That's probably where you're here.
The guy who broke up the perfecto that you had working on the second game of the season down in Houston. 2 outs, the bottom of the 9th inning, right back through the wickets for the only hit of the night. So Altuve's night is finished. Marwin Gonzalez pinch running for him, and here's Castro. Takes outside for ball 1. Castro doubled to start off the second. Hit it off the wall right in front of the Ranger bullpen, then singled up the middle his last time up. That was in the 4th. Tops that foul. 1-1 now the count. Garza working here in the top of the 6th inning. That staked to a 14-1 lead, courtesy of an 11-run 3rd inning by the Rangers. Right-hander sets. And the breaking ball in the dirt. Blocked by Pierzynski. It's 2 balls and a strike. Well, they are just underway out on the West Coast now. Seattle at Oakland tonight, and Cleveland in Anaheim. Rangers, of course, with that half-game lead over the A's as we start play here this evening. The 2-1 pitch coming to Castro. Now 2-2. Castro with the 2 base hits now has that average up to 271. Garza coming back to the plate. 3-2. Matt wants a new baseball, and Gary Cedarstrom complies. Well, Matt will rub it up a little bit and try and figure out something to do with Castro. Hasn't retired him yet tonight. He has run the string all the way out. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Long look in. Now the sign is taken. Payoff pitch on the way. Popped him up. Beltran Andrews out into shallow left field. It'll be Elvis Andrews making the call on the catch. And that will do it. So Castro finally retired tonight. No runs a hit, 1 left. 5.5 in the books. The Rangers lead by 13 on Fox Sports Southwest. Slam inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $800 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Christy Schmidt from Plano. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Christy Schmidt from Plano will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Well, Wade LeBlanc is finished for the evening after 2 2/3 innings. He is replaced by the right-hander Philip Umber.
Well, Umber started out the season with the Astros. He struggled, pitched in the minor leagues, and now he's back in a relief role. Numbers weren't very good at the beginning of the year. Trying to come back and pitch better as a reliever.
So Umber, a Nacogdoches native, goes to work here and fires a strike to Jurickson Profar. Profar tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Umber back to the plate. Line drive over the leap of VR and into the gap. Profar going for two. The throw from Grossman is not in time. And Jurickson Profar with his first hit of the night. A leadoff double here in the 6th inning.
Well hit line drive going the other way.
So Umber gives up a leadoff double. Now David Murphy, who has doubled. 1 for 3 tonight. He has also scored a couple of runs and driven in a run. It's out of play to the left. It is 0-1. Murphy facing Umber. Umber, one of the most important graduates from Rice University. A great pitching staff that they had back in the early 2000s. Murphy chops it on the right side, and Wallace will underhand to Umber. Murphy is retired. On to third goes Profar. He's there with 1 out, and it will take the Rangers back to the top of the order. Folks, an important night last night. We're asking for your help to help us support the victims of the recent devastating storms in Oklahoma and North Texas. Visit foxsportssouthwest.com and purchase a limited edition We Are One t-shirt. And while you're there, be sure to check out some of the unique sports and entertainment packages that will be auctioned off during tomorrow night's game right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Previous auctions, last couple of years, of course, the Shannon Stone Foundation in 2011, over $150,000. Last year, for the Wounded Warriors Project, you all supported them to the tune of almost $220,000. We would look for more even as we get bigger and better this year. Leonard Martin fouling back the pitch. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Martin 3 for 3 tonight with a walk, a run scored, or 3 runs scored, a run driven in. How about that? Hitting at 281 now. Out of play to the left. Leonis, after his day off yesterday, Ron Washington seeing him have some difficulties going 1 for 11 over his last 3 ball games. He hadn't had a day off, though, since 25th of July. It was 23 straight days that Ron Washington had him in the lineup, and he said it was time for him to get off the field a little bit. Chopper out to second. That'll score the run. Profar scores, and Gonzalez fires on to first to get Leonis Martin. The run comes across. The Rangers have scored 15 for the second night in the last 3. They lead 15-1 as Leonis Martin gets his second RBI of the evening. So 2 outs now. The base is empty for Elvis Andrews. Elvis 2 for 3. He, like Leonis Martin, has scored 3 runs tonight. He's also drawn a walk. Umber's first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Umber, you remember last year, threw a perfect game against the Seattle Mariners as a member of the White Sox. At that time, the 21st pitcher in Major League history to have a perfecto. And he's kind of fallen on hard times since then. Battling control problems and just hasn't gotten it back together. 2 hopper down to Dominguez. Long throw across. Elvis retired. Rangers gone, but they do score a run on a hit. Nobody left. We're going to the 7th inning. It's the Rangers 15, the Astros 1 on Fox Sports for the favorite team in these parts. Rangers 15 runs on 13 hits. They lead 15-1. Leonis Martin and Elvis Andrews at the top of the Ranger order. 5 for 8 between them, with 6 runs scored. and 3 runs driven in. Meanwhile, Matt Garza has retired 14 of 17 since giving up the Carter RBI double in the second. That's the only Astros run that he has allowed tonight. So we go to the 7th inning, and Matt Garza back to the hill. And some defensive changes. Adam Rosales has taken over at shortstop for Elvis Andrus. And coming in the ball game to play third base is Jeff Baker. So Adrian Beltre and Elvis Andrus get an early departure, get the last 3 innings or so off in this ball game. Chris Carter is starting things off against Matt Garza. Carter 1 for 2, had that RBI double. And Garza misses high. Last time up, Carter struck out.
One thing Matt has done for the Rangers is virtually every time he's been out there, he's pitched deep into the ball game, 7 innings or more. And this should be another outing where he has the opportunity to do the same thing. He's at 90 pitches right now. Should easily be able to get through the 7th inning.
Yeah, the only time he failed to go at least 7 was last time out in 5 2/3 that he had down in Houston. Carter, a drive to right center. That's going to stay in the ballpark, though. Alex Rios over into the alley, makes the catch, well shy of the warning track. That is out number 1. So Carter's guy's out, and next up will be Matt Dominguez. Yeah, in the 5 previous outings that Garza has had in a Ranger uniform, he's gone 7 1/3, 7, 8, 7, and then the 5 2/3. So this falling right in line with everything else he's done.
The 8 inning outing was a complete game. It was a game he lost on the road.
Dominguez takes a strike. Astro third baseman is 0 for 2. He has grounded out and flied to center.
He's thrown a lot of strikes today, a lot of quality strikes with all his pitches. Best fastball we've seen him have. When the Astros do foul it off, they're usually a little bit late on it. Most of the foul balls have been to the opposite side and into the stands. 7 strikeouts in the game. A lot of fastballs, 66% fastballs. A lot of strikes, 64 strikes, 29 balls.
0-2 pitch. And there's another late swing and a foul. And still the velocity is there, 94, and with command. And that's a devastating combination. You get a guy that knows what he's doing out there like Matt Garza, has a good plan, and with a veteran catcher making sure he stays on that plan, A.J. Pierzynski. That's a pretty good duo to have going for you. Line drive over the head of Baker as he went up the ladder into the corner, and Dominguez will have an extra base hit. Murphy gets the ball back in. Dominguez pulling in with a 1-out double here in the 7th inning. A slider that kind of backed up on Garza a little bit. So 5 hits now allowed by the Ranger right-hander to the Astros. Jake Elmore came on as the catcher for Carlos Corporan in the 5th inning. And coils away at the first pitch. It's out of play to the right. Elmore drew a walk as he led off the 5th. Elmore, a .245 hitter. Garza a check of second. And another ball out of play to the right. Elmore in limited play on this road trip. He has gone 2 for 6 in the first 6 games. Started at second base in yesterday's game. Up the middle, over the second base bag, and into center, a base hit. They're going to hold Dominguez at third base.
They've scouted Martin.
Yeah.
They weren't probably would have scored without a throw, but they weren't taking any chances. Martin uncorks another one of those strikes to the plate. They've seen that. They saw that ball from left center field that he threw all the way in the air. Got Altuve by about 10 feet.
Right.
They weren't taking any chances.
So the first time that the Astros have had 2 runners aboard in the same inning since the second. No, this is the first time they have had all night. They've been on base at the same time. And a big rip and a miss by L.J. HOU. HOU's 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. Garza back to the plate. And HOU fights it off right behind home plate. 0-2 the count. Brzezinski flashing the signs out, and Garza picks out one he wants. 0-2, that's line to center. That's going to be a base hit. In to score is Dominguez. Elmore puts the brakes on as that throw strongly comes in to third base.
Even when they don't run, the throws he makes are great. He's back on his heels in deep center field. There's a one-hop bullet to third base.
That makes it a 15-2 Ranger lead. 3 consecutive hits now for the Astros.
Watch a throw by Martin at center. He's back on his heels and still uncorks this throw to third base. I just like watching him throw.
Mike Maddox out to have a brief chat with Garza and Brzezinski. 2 on, 1 out, a run across, and Jonathan Villar comes up for his third at bat. Last time up, Villar grounded into the double play that ended the 5th inning.
He's been ahead of the hitters this inning, just hasn't been able to put them away.
And he throws a strike at the belt. Villar, aside from that double play grounder and a basic ground ball to second back in the 3rd inning. Got Elmore second, HOU at first. And the pitch catches the outside corner about knee high. 0-2. Garza's next pitch. 1-2. Right-hander sets at the belt. And a chopper foul down the first base side. Well, Fritz Dykert again going to work here and coming up with some dandies for us. Yes, yeah, he is. The
What did he come up with?
What he's telling me is the Rangers had not scored 15 runs in a 3-game span since August of 2008.
Wow.
That's pretty.
How's he finding all this stuff out? He's like a researcher?
I think so. Either that or he's making it up.
No, one thing for sure, we would never know that.
He said Rich Rice, the Rangers PR staff, is helping him out. I'm sure Rich is feeding him all this stuff.
All right, well, that's how Fritz knows it. How's Rich know it? Calling Stats Inc., probably.
Yeah. Elias does all that research. Boy, now they can pull up anything, any era of baseball you want. You get it down to the pitch-by-pitch minute. 1-2 pitch for Garza. And again, a foul. Well, Villar being a little bit of a pest, and Garza with Robbie Ross loosening in the Ranger bullpen.
And that's up to 107 pitches and only 1 out here, so Wash has to get someone warmed up. Not that the score isn't in any danger, but the pitch count is getting up there.
Yeah, you don't want that pitch count police to get on you.
Nope.
1-2 in the dirt. And Brzezinski able to block it. A 2-2 the count. 2 on with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. AJ flashing the series of signs out. In the dirt, he gets through his legs all the way to the backstop. And the runners advance 90 feet. Elmore to third and Hose to second. Well, that takes away the double play possibility, and it runs the count full to VR. One of those just stayed down. Got under the glove in the block attempt by A.J. Brzezinski. The wild pitch. Charge to Matt Garza. Payoff delivery, got him swinging. There you go. Garza with his 8th strikeout of the night. 2 gone, and Robbie Grossman will come up for the 4th time.
Well, it just kind of disappeared right at the end.
Sure did. Grossman has struck out twice and flied to shallow left field. One ball, no strikes. Grossman, a switch hitter. Saw him play mostly left field in the series that the Rangers had down in Houston last week. Brandon Barnes playing center field. But Bull Porter using Grossman as the center fielder here tonight. That's toward the gap in right center. That's going to plug it. It'll score a pair. Elmore scores. Hose behind him scores, and the throw goes into second. Not in time, as Grossman has a 2-run double. And it's now a 15-4 Ranger lead, and that's going to do it for Matt Garza. Not able to complete the 7th inning. Well, Matt Garza will give way to Robbie Ross and get a nice round of applause by the appreciative crowd here at Rangers ballpark. And not the way that Matt wanted to finish off the 7th inning, or the ball game for that matter. But he will turn it over now to Robbie Ross, who's making his way in from the bullpen. We'll take a timeout. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest.
The Astros once again will have it for you right here on Fox Sports Southwest at 7 p.m. And that is when you will also see the Rangers debut of Travis Blackley. The Rangers newly acquired just last week from the Houston Astros. He said it's awfully fitting that'll be the first opponent he will face. As for his reaction to coming to this team, take a listen.
Super excited. You know, obviously last year had quite a lot of battles here with this team, and you know, it's obviously one of the best teams in the league, and it's with a really good chance at postseason and even World Series. So that's exciting, and kind of revamped me a little bit to for a bit of excitement for the year.
No doubt. He has made 23 starts in the majors with 4 different teams: Seattle, San Francisco, Oakland, and Houston. Buzz and Tom, he's got 8 wins for his career, but half have come against the Rangers. In fact, no doubt you recall when he helped beat the Rangers in Oakland in the second to last game of the year last year. So when he went into that clubhouse, he of course told a few of the guys, "I'm awfully glad that I don't have to face you anymore." And they said right back to him, "We're even more happy not to face you either."
All right, Dana, thank you. And Brett Wallace greets Robbie Ross with a ground rule double to left center field. Robbie Ross continuing to have problems coming in against left-handers. Left-handers hitting better than .333 against him as Wallace drives in the 5th run of the night for the Astros, and that finishes the book on Matt Garza, who is charged with all 5 runs.
Yeah, it's going to be a strange game for Matt when it's all over and done with. It's 8 hits and 5 runs in 6 2/3. But for most of the game, he was terrific. Struck out 8, had a great fastball. Got maybe a little tired at the end, but it sure was a better game than 5 runs in 6 2/3. Watching it anyway.
Marwin Gonzalez for his first at bat of the evening. He takes a strike and finds himself down in the count now. The switch hitter up there from the right side against Robbie Ross. Robbie came in yesterday's ball game, gave up a base hit to score a run, and he gets Gonzalez here, swinging strike 3. That'll do it, but the Astros come up with 4 runs. They had 5 hits and strand 1. It's stretch time at the ballpark. Rangers ahead offense up there. Guys that have been replaced, the Rosales and Baker, the replacements, the only ones up there with zeros. Everybody else has had at least 1 hit, scored at least 1 run. All 9 starters in those categories. And Philip Humbert starting things off against Ian Kinsler. Ian 1 for 2 officially. He has driven in 3 runs tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rangers 15 runs on 13 hits. They have played errorless ball. The Astros now 5 runs on 9 hits. They've committed 2 big errors. Kinsler a drive to left, but he hooked it too much. About 25 feet foul as it passes by the pole. And the count moves to 1-2. Humber's next pitch. And a ground ball to short. VR fires to first. Kinsler retired, 1 gone. And Jeff Baker will get his first at-bat of the evening. But before we tell you about Jeff Baker, it's time for a Mazda game break. Here's John Radigan. All right, John, thank you. Baker smokes one off the glove of Wallace onto Umber, covering by the second baseman Gonzalez, and they get Baker. Boy, that is really hitting in tough luck.
Yeah, that's not right. Hit that ball hard. Of course, the game is out of hand, but at the same time, you come up and have a nice at bat, drive the ball like that, looking for a base hit. You can see how far off the line the first baseman is, way over towards second base. He was able to knock it down, and pitcher gets over and covers.
That's your typical 3-4-1 put out at first.
Yep.
Yeah, good job by Umber to not get caught being a spectator. Got over there to cover the bag. So 2 quick outs here in the Rangers' 7th inning. A.J. Przinsky, who is 3 for 4 tonight, now facing Umber, takes outside for ball 1. A.J. a pair of singles and a double. He has driven in 3, and he has scored a run. Przinsky up to 51 RBI for the year. Fouls the pitch away, and the count evens, and a ball and a strike. AJ now with hits in 8 of his last 9 ball games. He is up near the 340 mark in those 9 games. Takes just off the outer edge. 2 balls and a strike. Przinsky waiting as Umber gets set. And a foul ball evens the count at 2-2. Well, the Rangers continuing their hot hitting here at home, as you see a very relaxed Ranger dugout. Rangers, the last 10 ball games now at Rangers ballpark, hitting up over 290. Dave Magadan happy with the work that his guys have been putting in. They came in tonight 4th in the American League with a .268 home batting average. And that's fouled out of play. That'll go up a little bit this evening. Overall, Rangers 5th in the American League with a .261 average entering play tonight. Their on-base percentage is going to go up too. It's been going up pretty steadily as Ron Washington's club has found a way to take more walks and get that runner on base average going. It was 6th in the league starting play tonight, and that might rise a spot or two even. Two and two, the count to Przinsky. And that's out of play. Looking down into the on-deck circle, Alex Rios, the scheduled next hitter, has been called back to the dugout. Craig Gentry. Looks like he will take over for Rios. Wash, as Tom told you, emptying his bench with the exception of Giovanni Soto. You keep him back just in case. Drive to right field. The drought is over. Goodbye. Brzezinski's 4th hit of the night leaves the ballpark. And the Rangers make it a sweet 16-5.
4 hits, a home run, a double, 2 singles, 3 different times he's driven in a run in this game. A big hit in the 3rd inning. The first hit of the inning to drive in runs to make it a 42 game. Drove in 2 runs on a bases loaded single. And caps his day off by hitting a slider down in the strike zone up into the upper deck. Line shot.
Well, that's the Rangers' first home run in their last 5 ball games. And AJ, with his 14th of the year, makes that drought a little more palatable. The upper porch. .403 feet, the measurement put on Przinsky's blast. Gentry. Pitch hitting, and he skies one to right field. Hose moving toward the line. Angling over, makes the catch, and that will do it. But A.J. Przinsky continues the hit parade tonight. His home run puts another one on the board. We're going to the 8th. 16-5 Rangers.
Time for the Progressive fan of the game. We come all the way up to the upper home run porch. This is the entire school teachers. Everybody here, school teachers at Bowie Elementary in Ennis, right?
That's
and
correct.
This is Principal Corbett, the principal at Bowie Elementary in Ennis. What brings you guys out?
We're out here doing a team building exercise activity, getting fired up for our Bowie students who are coming next week, and this is the teacher's first day back. We thought we'd come out and support our Texas Rangers.
Principal Corbett, way to go. Big-time Ranger fan. Congratulations. Here's the bag. Anything else you'd like to say?
I'd like to give a quick shout-out to my boys, William, Daniel, and Aaron, and go Rangers!
There you go. I thought you were going to say, like, raises for everybody, but I guess not. Maybe next year. Okay.
Everybody take next Monday off.
Hey!
It's Labor Day.
Oh, it's Labor. Okay. All right. There you go, Buzz.
All right, Jim. Thank you. 16-5. Robbie Ross now back at the hill to work the 8th inning, and Jason Castro starting things off. Castro 2 for 3 tonight, and Ross misses outside. It's 2-0. Craig Gentry stays in the ballgame, takes over in center field with the previous center fielder, Leonis Martin, moving over to right. Out of play to the left. The count is 2-1. Castro doubled and scored in the 2nd inning. Singled with 1 out in the 4th inning. And last time up, popped out to short. And the strike makes it 2-2 as that fastball caught the knees.
And Robbie's had a little bit of a problem against left-hand hitters locating that cutter that he throws. Earlier in the season, it was sharp and it was down and away. And over the last month or so, a lot of them have hung near the middle of the plate to the left-hand hitters, and they've hit that pretty well.
3-2 to Jason Castro. Ross with a payoff pitch. High, ball 4. And Castro is aboard to start the 8th inning. Now the AT&T Twitter poll tonight. Remember, we asked you who the fantasy football champion of the Rangers will be this year. And Ian Kinsler got 35% of the vote. Joe Nathan a distant second with 14. So we're going to have to share these results with the guys downstairs. They may want to do a little handicapping. Chris Carter, 1 for 3 tonight, had an RBI double in the second. That drove in his 63rd run of the year. He is tops on the Astros club in that category. Got jammed and a fly ball lazily out to center field. Gentry coming on. Carter retired, 1 away from Matt Dominguez. Ross has gotten the 2 right-handed hitters he's faced.
Yeah.
Hasn't gotten the 2 left-handers.
He's been able to get the cutter into the right-hand hitters pretty good. Just hasn't been able to locate it where he wants to the left-hand hitters quite as well.
Matt Dominguez doubled and scored his last time up. That was in the 7th inning. 1 for 3 tonight. And he gets jammed pretty good on that cutter and fouls it off. Dominguez, you see, second on the Astros team with those 60 RBI. Ouch. Breaking ball. That's popped to Profar. He thought about letting that drop for a second on his way in and said, nah, I better not do that. 16-5.
Yeah, better get the out.
Yeah.
You let that thing drop and it spins away from you, then it doesn't look too good.
No. And take a look at the Ford leaderboard, the records in the Western Division by Western Division teams. Rangers, of course, the best record overall, 38-16. And Oakland, 31-23. They're at the tops. You see the Astros, though, really struggling at 19-37 against their Western Division foes. Angels not much better, 19-35. Slowly hit out to Rosales, who underhands the Profar, and that'll do it. So the leadoff walk, no problem. Astros gone, stranding their 5th runner of the night. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Rangers.
Bottom of the 8th inning and a chance to pad that lead. And what are we going to talk about on Rangers Live? Brought to you by Esurance. I say we got a few topics. It's an historic night for the Rangers in many ways. Most runs they've scored all season. We hear from Wash. We hear from the offensive heroes. We hear from everybody in the postgame. Plus, Mark McLemore joins me. We'll also get you ready for tomorrow's benefit. It's all coming up on Rangers Live, presented by Esurance right after the game, guys.
All right, John, thank you. Look forward to that. And look forward to seeing Jake Elmore, who moves from catcher to pitcher now, take over. And
what a day. What a day. The day you dream about as a player.
And he fires a strike.
You know, I have to say this, Buzz, watching him behind the plate and not really studying each pitch. I would have known he wasn't the catcher.
No, I thought he did a real good job.
Some emergency catchers back there, you can tell just by the way they squat down that they're not a catcher.
Right.
He looked like a catcher back there.
And he looks like a pitcher, too.
Yeah.
Out there firing it. And
I can do it.
Telling his infielders, hey, be on your toes now. Probably not going to strike anybody out.
I want to keep my ERA right where it is.
Jason Castro, by the way, is there's an off-speed pitch that is a little bit low. Is catching. So the Astros have gone away from the DH. They use their DH Castro as the catcher. And Elmore, who was catching, is now the pitcher. 1-2 to Moreland. Sky to shallow left center field. Grossman in to make the catch for out number 1, and Moreland 1 for 5 with a 2-run double. Is back to the Ranger bench. Now Jurickson Profar. The Rangers 16 runs on 14 hits tonight. Astros 5 runs on 9 hits. Profar doubled and scored his last time. He has scored twice tonight and walked in that Ranger 3rd inning. Fastball to the inside corner. I use the term fastball advisedly.
It's his fastball.
It's his fastball. That's right. Off-speed pitch, pulled foul. He's got a pretty good assortment.
He got guaranteed he's pitched in his youth before. He looks pretty good.
Yeah,
out
he's
there.
got a compact little windup.
Yeah.
You know.
If you could throw it, if you could throw a changeup, you got to have at least some knowledge of pitching.
0-2 pitch.
Curveball.
Got a little wrinkle in that one too. That's good. Well, Jake Elmore, an infielder by trade, a catcher in an emergency. Joakim Soria getting ready to apparently pitch the 9th inning for the Rangers.
He's thrown 7 pitches. 6 of them have been strikes.
In at the feet of Jurickson Profar. It's 1-2.
Try to muscle up on that one a little bit.
No, let's just say he's not Jose Canseco out there. He's not going to hurt himself.
No.
He got a little better motion than what Canseco had from what I remember.
That was a forgettable day.
Yeah. Wallace underhands to Elmore. Knew where to go on that ground ball to the right side. Got it recovered very well. That's out number 2, and David Murphy will come up.
The Rangers have only had 1-2-3 inning. That was the 2nd inning. So he's 1 out away from having the second 1-2-3 inning. Pitchers won't be able to get on him tonight.
No. Murph 1 for 4. He has scored a couple of times, and he's also driven in a run.
Just tell the pitchers you guys were throwing too hard. They can hit that.
And Murphy chops one out to second base. Gonzalez up with it, and Jake Elmore has just the second 1-2-3 inning of the night, and his teammates are standing an ovation for him. Well, the Rangers gone. We're going to the 9th inning. Rangers 16-5 over the Astros. On Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Don't miss the Ford Summer Spectacular featuring blockbuster deals. Now playing at your best in Texas Ford dealer. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. The 9th inning here of this Ranger runaway at 16-5, and Joakim Soria out of the Ranger bullpen takes over and throws strike 1 to L.J. HOU. Soria with his 13th appearance of the year. 1 ball and 1 strike. HOU tonight 1 for 3, as you can see. Hard hit, but Jurickson Profar gets over in front of it. That is out number 1. So Soria gets the first down, and now you'll face Jonathan Villar. Soria last worked 6 days ago, was the 13th against Milwaukee. Worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit and a run in that ball game. Three of the last 6 outings that Soria has had have resulted in him giving up at least a run. So, trying to turn things around and not pitching as much as he has. Trying to shake some of that rust off, get himself in a pretty good groove to help the Rangers down the stretch. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Villar. Soria, as you saw, that 409 earned run average, but the league hitting just 200 against him. The pitch lashed foul the other way. And the count goes to 1-2. Soria about 16 months, I guess it is, away from Tommy John surgery. There's a swinging strike 3, that big hook. Soria gets the strikeout. 2 gone, Robbie Grossman coming up.
If he can get ahead of you with his other pitches with 2 strikes and then throw you the slow curveball, pretty tough pitch to hit.
The base is empty, 2 away. Grossman steps in. Robbie had the RBI double in the 7th inning that chased the starter Matt Garza from the game. Fouls that pitch to the left. It is 0-1. Grossman a 1-for-4 night thus far, hitting at .262. Rip and a miss. And Soria heating up upstairs. Now 2 outs, and the crowd that was in the neighborhood of 32,000, a little bit over 32,000, giving the best they can of a standing ovation. Maybe half those folks still here. But the crowd that is still here definitely enjoying this night and trying to help Joaquin Soria close out the Rangers win here this evening. Just missed inside. The count goes to 2-2. And another couple of chances to get on the umpire, too. Always got to have that. Appreciate that.
One parting shot before you take your broomstick, what's left of it, and leave the park.
Now 3-2 as Grossman takes high. Rangers trying to capture their 72nd win of the year, get back to 19 games over 500 for the 4th time in 2013. Payoff pitch to left field, David Murphy. Circling under it, makes the catch, and that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Soria. And the Rangers capture game 1 of this 3-game series against the Astros, 16-5, the final here tonight. So Matt Garza, with the win, moves to 3-1 in a Ranger uniform. Elvis Andrews, Ian Kinsler, part of the Ranger group tonight that really enjoyed an offensive outburst. 16-5, 16 runs on 14 hits. Rangers also were given some walks to work with, 5 of them by Lucas Harrow and Wade LeBlanc, the first 2 pitchers they faced. Able to put 11 runs on the board in the 3rd inning, an inning that saw every Ranger in the lineup score a run in that frame. So quite an evening, quite an offensive outburst. As we mentioned, the 2nd time in the last 3 days that the Rangers have put at least 15 on the board. 15 on Saturday and 16 here on Monday night. Ron Washington's club right now a full game up on Oakland, pending the outcome of the Oakland-Seattle game out in Oakland tonight. Could be as much as a game and a half. And we'll have at least a half game advantage as the Rangers continue to play well against the Western Division. They're now 39-16 against the West.
It was a good game all the way around. You just had to love the 11-run inning. Before the errors happened, Rangers got the top of the order on base, got a sacrifice bunt, and then 2 big hits with the bases loaded. A.J. Przinsky had the 2-run single. Mitch Moreland had a double with the bases loaded to drive in a couple, and just got more from there in an 11-run inning. But we said all season long, Buzz, for the offense to click, you've got to get the guys at